big old mess of lasagna. I haven't made like a layered Italian dish for a long time. Now, one of my favorite dishes I like to make is a eggplant, but I put spinach and ricotta in it, and that's my way of making it. But I was kind of astonished when I went to Publix, man. I don't know. Their buy one get one free is okay sometimes, but I found that sometimes Walmart's even cheaper than their buy one get one free. So prices are crazy. What I did is I wanted some beef, I wanted some pork, but I didn't want that much pork. So I did a hot pork sausage, a sweet pork sausage, ground beef, and so that's kind of like my meat base. I cleaned out the freezer of my sauce from my harvest last year, and then I I had some pesto in there too, so I added pesto to my sauce instead of, I didn't have fresh basil because I had so much pesto from last year. So I just put pesto in it, and uh, let's see, I've got about 4 pounds of meat in here. I had to supplement my sauce with a canned tomato. I put crushed tomatoes. I learned that secret from an Italian woman who would use crushed tomatoes to make her sauce because you didn't have to cook it for so long. So I added a can of crushed tomatoes to my cherry tomato sauce. Now, when I harvest all, you always end up with way more cherry tomatoes than you can eat. So I just used my, let me check my chat here. Why do I always moving stuff here? Uh, but, oh, there we go. Chat, top messages. Well, chat. Hmm. Top bands. No. I don't know why the comments aren't showing. Filter. Gosh, I'm such a amateur here. I think every time I get on here, they change it. So I'm sorry, I can't read the chat. But hello, welcome. So yeah, so save my cherry tomatoes and I freeze them. Then when I get a bunch of those, I make sauce. Like don't discount cherry tomatoes, and it strains really easily. You know, it was no biggie. It'd be easier if I had a mill. You know, so need but I want a good quality. And I'm afraid to order off Amazon. The other thing I did here, besides cleaning out my freezer to make the sauce, and uh, I had that, like I said, I didn't have any basil, so I used my pesto, and the pesto did not have cheese in it because it didn't freeze well and redo well, and so I didn't do that. Uh, but I've got the sauce, and I did add a can of tomato paste here as well. Now my cheese, my ricotta cheese, I have a giant bowl here. Egg, whole milk ricotta. I put in some cheese, whole milk ricotta, egg, thyme, a little black pepper. And this works out well, actually. I'm glad I got, do you see this pan? It's huge. It's a roaster. I looked at buying lasagna pans, but again, like there were people saying these aren't really stainless steel. And I won't buy anything that's not stainless steel. I don't like nonstick or any of that stuff. But, so yeah, I got my first layer of big old spoon of cheese. I'm going to put this, I was kind of lazy today. I used dried some dried onions, some onion powder to season my sauce, and some minced onions. I didn't feel like cutting up an onion. I have a ton of the minced onion that's already purchased, and with prices going up. I was talking to my buddy Hunter. Oh, there's some chat people. Hey, how's it going, Benny? How you doing? 2 p.m. Pacific. All righty. Thanks. I appreciate it. Do you have a specific topic today? No, I'm just, I know. Look how deep. This is like 7 inches or something. But I'm making I like a tall lasagna, and I'm doing freezer meals. So I'll probably be traveling some, so that Chris will be home. So it'll give him some meals while I'm gone, so he won't be eating at restaurants so much. And I mean, I always have extra meals in the freezer in case we want to eat out or something. I want a break or whatever. I always have an emergency couple of backup lunches for him because we always take lunch to work. And when I worked, I did that. I've got some spinach here. I like spinach in my eggplant parm. I like spinach in my lasagna. And I need more beta carotene because I'm having that eye surgery next week. But I have macular disease. So they're like, eat your veggies. So I put a little carrot in here as well. And my sauce, I left it a little wet, so I'm going to see how these do. It should get tender enough because I'm going to cook the heck out of this. I'm almost thinking I probably should have bought another thing of, oh shoot. I should have brought another thing of, lasagna. I may have to have Chris go to the store when he gets out of the shower. He's been filling up the garden beds. There's so many topics, Benny. I wasn't pushing you, but if there's a specific topic, somebody might be interested that's watching. So y'all do good work over there. So it's just, but Hunter and I were talking yesterday on the phone, and Neil, bye. Benny, you're not a mod. Please don't spam. Benny. I mean, not Benny. Make you a mod. I don't know why you haven't been a mod, Benny. But, yeah, Hunter and I were talking. So not only, and you can talk about this, Benny. This is something to bring up. Not only are they doing the deportations, they, JBS they kind of handle all of our meat. So they're from Brazil. They do all of our cattle processing and stuff like that. China owns Smithfield Foods, so they own basically our pork industry. So they can do whatever they want to mess with us. However, like JBS, they have a history of corruption and everything. So, birds of a feather. So a lot of people were against them being able to go public on the stock market. Well, they just went public recently in the U.S. stock market. And last month, or recently, JBS Foods in Iowa got visas, HB2 visas, employer visas, legal people. They just revoked their visas. 200 people plus, they said. So they were down 200 employees for our beef production, putting food on our plate. Isn't that fun? So the prices now, just expect them to keep rising. If you want beef, get it now, because or buy the cow, something. It's ridiculous. Coffee, what was it? $19 for a freaking container. I remember, what was it, like, I think COVID era, it went to $8. So, I don't know, I'm just waiting for that let them eat cake moment where everybody starts really revolting, you know? It's crazy. Between healthcare and food cost. You know, that's why I supplement everything and always have with gardening, because, and that's also why I wanted to move out here to more land where I could do more. Where I could do more gardening. I'm not keeping up with my layers. What goes where. Hey. Oh, Lori. Oh, thank you, Lori. How's it going, Lori? Why are you up so early? It's only what? Oh, it's 4:28, so you've probably been up an hour. Good to see you, Lori. Good to see you. Hey, Benny, if you can't sleep late night, Lori's chat is pretty decent. She goes live every night for about 5 hours. She's 73 and rocking it over there. She has her watch hours, but she doesn't have her subscribers, you know. So yeah, it's yeah, we're making this lasagna, kicking it out. Oh, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna also weigh about, it's gonna be probably a good 10-pound lasagna when I'm done, if not more. If not more. So I've heard that you don't have to cook the noodles if you only do 2 layers, but I like thick layer. Wait till you see the lasagna we had in Lexington. Oh my goodness. It was like 7 really fine layers with cheese, and then they folded it like, it's kind of a piece like, sorry, my fingers are it's a piece like that long, and then they folded it like a taco. So the 7 layers became like a 4 layer, and then the top edges, they put it back in the oven and it got crispy a little bit. It was so good. So good. So, and then I found anyway, like the spinach tends to extract fluid as it cooks. So I think I'll be okay since I'm layering every layer with spinach. And then if I have to, I'll just cook the heck out of it till it evaporates. But yeah, Hunter and I had a long conversation yesterday. We were on the phone for like 7 hours till his phone died. So it's probably tired of me yakking. But yeah, it was a good time. I just wish my time with Hunter was longer when we went to visit him. But yeah, it's crazy times, crazy times. Crazy. But, oh, you know what? I just put my cheese spoon in my sauce spoon. It all goes in the same place anyway. And we're probably going to be the only ones to eat this. So much we'll have like really tiny portions that are super tall. Oh my gosh, I'm going to probably go through all this sauce here. Thought I'd have some extra though. I still might have a little extra to put in a quart bag for a quick pasta meal. But we'll see what happens here. And some more cheese. This may be my last layer here. I'm just going off the cheese, spinach, and noodle availability here. So it looks like we're going to have like at least a 5-inch tall lasagna. It'll shrink a little bit. once it cooks down, maybe. Oh, it may even out because the expansion of the noodles versus the dehydration and everything else. So the cheese, I also put the eggs in, kind of give it some, so it doesn't spread everywhere and just become a soup. And yeah, that's it for that. How many layers did I do? I think probably at least 4 or 5. More spinach, the last of the spinach. Yeah, did I say I grated a carrot in my sauce too? Believe me, it didn't need this sugar or sweetness, but I need the beta carotene. So, all right, that's it. Put the rest of this noodles and sauce on, and I guess I probably should preheat the oven. But yeah, I couldn't believe, I think I paid $20 for like 2 pounds of beef. Like, what the heck? What the heck? But I did buy a sirloin. No. I didn't want it too fatty because I already had the sweet and hot Italian sausage in here. Put some extra around the sides. Yeah, I'm going to end up using all this sauce. Wow. That is crazy. It was funny too because it's like it's been at 100 heat index. Now today it's in the 70s. Can you believe it? Crazy heat fluctuations. So, yeah. All right, I think I have some. Oh, I do. I already put the broken ones to the side. I don't know what I'll do with those. Do you all do anything with your broken ones? Maybe I should have put 5 across. I only did 4 or something, did I? I don't know. Top layer can have 5. I didn't do any sauce for this. Crap. All right, BRB. Forgot about that last layer, but look. I already have sauce. It has meatballs in it. So I'll just kind of thaw it and then put it in the pan to finish thawing it. Get it thickened up. So yeah, it's crazy. My vision's been really bad today, so I'm looking forward to Thursday. Get my new eyeball. I need to find some glasses. Chris was out working in the garden. He was trying to get the gardens loaded up before the rains hit, but it started sprinkling already. But now it looks like it's done, and he's already in the shower. I'm trying to get some garden beds ready for the oh my gosh, I've lost a lot of chat. Sorry, y'all. Hey, High Country Homestead. Oh my goodness. 6:30 in the morning. Oh, you wake early. You're one of those early risers. Wow. But you stay up all late. I guess you don't sleep much. If that's the case, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I went through that where, thank you, High Country Homestead, for the compliment on the lasagna. Uh, yeah. So, yeah. Hey, Benny, you want to put the link into your suffragettes channel and your channel, High Country, please, if you would do the same. And uh, and Lori, please, if you would, please. I'm on my phone, so. Oh, you have a farm, yeah, yeah. That's right. If I had chickens, they'd hate me. Although my neighbor, she wouldn't go out and do hers till like 11 o'clock. I'd be like, oh, those poor chickens. But I guess when they're on her schedule, it's not so bad. But I don't know. Thank you, Lori. See, Lori's a pro. She said she fuddles around trying to navigate things, but you know, she's doing great. She's doing great. So, yeah, we brought you up yesterday, Benny, and Lori, when I was talking to Honor. I think my friend Hunter's been in your over at your place, Lori, lurking, and Benny. Yeah, Hunter really likes you a lot. So, but yeah, he's a good guy. He really is. Oh, I hear something burning. Something's burning. Oh, my sauce that I don't have in here, my pan. I just turned my pan on and put my sauce in there. That's why it's not safe to be me sometimes. But yeah, I'm glad I had this extra sauce in the freezer. All right, so this lasagna is probably going to weigh now 15 pounds. Yeah. See, when I first got on YouTube, I was doing mainly like the gardening, homesteading thing, you know, and that was my jam for years. That's kind of what inspired me to move out here and get some property and, you know, some other personal things. My father passed, Chris's father passed, so it was time for a change, I guess. Yeah. Freezer bags. I hate microwaving till it's mush because, you know, microwave and plastic, but on my shoulder. Let's see what's going on here. All right. No. Oh, shoot. I'm going to make a mess here, y'all. IRL cooking. Ain't always pretty. I don't know, why do YouTubers think that people don't use their fingers and stuff at home? And my hands are clean. I'm a hyper wiper. I'm a hyper wiper, man. Use antibacterial soap. And if it's something you're putting in the oven, oh my gosh, you're undercooking it if you're getting salmonella diseases. You gotta cook your food. You don't cook everything. So, boiling and heat is key to sanitary kitchen. All right. And now I'm just burning sauce because I had it on too high for too long. So I'll just let it sit aside for a minute. I can't put that lasagna in the oven anyway because of my shoulder. Chris is going to have to do that when he gets out. So there'll be time for that. View message from Oh gosh, that's funny. Somebody just called me a name. I guess that's funny. That's funny. Uh, People are so bored. Uh, that's funny. You know, Hunter and I were talking yesterday. I'm like, are y'all as mods like deleting messages all the time? Because when I go live, for my regular live, I don't get trolls. I thought y'all were just being awesome mods. So this is the first time I've had like one spammer, one troll. That's crazy. As much as I've gone live in my life, yeah, too funny. But yeah, that's too funny. So what are y'all doing today? You're going live. I know, Lori. You go live every night. So, Lori, what does your husband think of you YouTubing? I always see him in the background. I think it's adorable that y'all are up so late together. Uh, yeah, Chris was talking on her too last night. And yeah, it's interesting how men, so much of their identity exists in what they do, which is kind of a different mindset than women. Hey, Sandra D, good to see you. Oh, all right, Sandra, I can't wait to see them. Mine haven't even been in the ground that long. I'm not going to be able to harvest till maybe November. We'll see. And then I'm trying something different this year. I'm going to try and keep them really tamed and cut back and see if that pushes more energy into the potato. I like the sweet potato leaves anyway. They're good as a stir fry. Uh, oh, good, high country. See, yeah, I don't even go on YouTube before I've had coffee. That would not be wise. Chris doesn't even talk to me much before I've had coffee. He knows. We've been married 30 years. Actually, only 27, but year one, we've been saying we've been married 30 years. Oh, your son. Okay, Lori. I've never seen his face. I've only seen the body and heard you all talking. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm redoing my garden areas. I have had three large planter boxes that I built, and I have the wood to build another one. That was supposed to get done this year, but we didn't get it done enough early enough before the heat came in. So I said we'll delay till fall, and then we're also going to put in a. I have it marked out for like 120 feet by what was it, 30 feet, something like that. So I want to have nine, was it about 8 or 9 rows? I think 9 rows, and then path down the middle. And then we're putting up 6 foot fence to keep the deer out of it. The deer got my sweet potato yesterday. They've been nibbling on it a bit, but I've been around and they've like devoured every leaf on there and my green beans, but they all bounced back and we got good harvest off both. It's kind of like they did me a favor. I just planted some blueberry. I'm trying to get some blueberry to grow for Renee's secret garden, and we'll see what happens. I may have let them sit too long and dry out too long and have exposure to daylight too long. I don't know. I just put a little fish emulsion in there, hoping that I'll start seeing sprouts soon. I've never tried growing blueberry from seed, so yeah, but I love experimenting. But we are just the figs. I didn't even get out to harvest figs today or yesterday. I said I was gonna like finish my video, go back out and harvest the figs. Never made it out there. That's on my garden tour Saturday, but I had 3 figs that filled my hand. They're huge. And that's the Chicago hardy fig, and then the little Italian figs need harvest too. But Chris said there's so many dang figs out there, even the crows can't eat them all. So, but I'd love to try and root some figs also for Renee's Secret Garden and for my house. Oh, that's too bad, High Country. One of my favorite sweet potato dishes is look into the Chicago hardy fig, High Country. That's why it's called Chicago hardy. It has a high cold tolerance. And mine, I bought it in the little DeGroot box from Tractor Supply. I'm not. I think you're in Australia, but I bought one of the DeGroot brand in a box. Planted it. It died all the way back, and then the next year it exploded to about 4 feet. But I'm thinking if I can grow enough figs, I can just border all of my property in figs and keep the deer out of my property and make the birds happy, the deers happy, because they munch on the leaves every now and then, but not too much. I just saw a little damage from them. And then, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just amazed at how quickly that dang hardy fig grew. I've only pruned it. I pruned it back severely once. But then I learned I just can't tame it. You know, I haven't been around figs too much, but I've just never seen a fig that big, fig tree. So the ones I've seen are usually like 5 feet, 6 feet maybe, and a lot more narrow. 2 apple trees. I could only afford. Ooh, apricot. I would love that. I find too, like I put just a little note in my description that I have apple, but they're difficult here. I bought pomegranate. Now I may have bought the wrong type of pomegranate, but I've never had one. I had one blossom last year. They may be heavy feeders or something. But I think of them as a Mediterranean plant that would be dry and probably like this type of, and I have a former coworker that has some persimmon trees and he gets a lot or pomegranate and he gets a lot of them. Mulberries, the birds usually get them. We get to go out there and, look, the fruit's coming, it's spring. And we eat a few, but the birds get the rest. But you never know what you're going to get from year to year. Sometimes it'll be apples that are good, sometimes figs, sometimes persimmon. So I find having a good variety of trees is really helpful. And then, I worried about the blueberries one year because we had a pretty hard frost after they blossomed, but it was almost like we got some of the blossoms that were well formed kind of protected the fruit, and then it blossomed again. So we ended up with a lot of fruit after that freeze. It was crazy. But yeah. And then I just really didn't plan. I've got some sweet potato, tomato, peppers. I think either some squash and melon. I had a volunteer watermelon, okra, tomatillo. I've never grown it. That stuff takes over. It's taken over almost a 6-foot bed with and I've cut the leaves off and it seemed to like that. I could just put out more energy into the others to make them bigger. I've got, what else do I have? I got ground cherries. Been trying to grow green beans. I'm really suffering with this green stock. I have a hard time. My mother-in-law grows beautiful, vegetables and fruit in hers or flowers. And I really struggle. Thanks, thanks, Lori. Get him, Lori. She's Quick Straw McGraw. Hey, Captain. That's my husband. That's Chris. Right? Is that you?
Yep.
Oh, hey, you. I should probably go check on that sauce now that I have a guy that can put that 15-pound lasagna in. Should we weigh it? Should I have asked Chris to go weigh the lasagna before we put it in the oven? That monster. You want to weigh it, honey, before it goes in?
Sure.
It's pretty heavy. Between 10 and 15-pound lasagna.
Is it? Oh, so we're weighing the
Oh wait, I gotta put more sauce on it though. I forgot I didn't reserve. Well, I was just short, so I ended up having to microwave a little bit of sauce. But yeah, there's the lasagna. It's here's my hand. Here's the pan. I think it's 7 inches tall. We're gonna have small pieces, but they're gonna be very tall. Let me get this other sauce going here. I think this will do it. I can chop up the meatballs. Yeah, Chris used to do a show with us, but he didn't do anything on my channel with me. He used to be on Bimbo's show, but he never comes on my show.
An occasional cameo.
Yeah, an occasional when I need tech support, or he brings me a water because I'm coughing and I forgot something.
Well, it's rude to upstage,
Oh, you would upstage me, huh? Is that what you're saying? Listen to him. Do you hear him? The rookie saying he'll upstage me. He must be from the Boyd.
All right, so we need to get the scale so we can weigh that. Oh,
It's not gonna. No, that only goes to 10 pounds. It's a food scale.
Oh, so I have to get.
It's not that kind of food scale.
So I have to actually get the scale then.
Yeah. Yeah, but I need to
do arithmetic.
Yeah, but I need to do this though.
Oh, you need to add that. Okay.
I need to see it needs sauce on top.
Okay.
Need sauce on top. Gotta have the sauce.
So Susan, what part of Australia are you from?
I think she's Northwest Territory, where Bimbo lived.
Oh.
I may be wrong.
There you go.
Yeah. She's high country homestead, so I'm in the Alpine region of Victoria.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. Very cool.
Americans know very little about the geography of anywhere outside of the United States, but I'm kind of fascinated by Perth, the Western Australia, and I just wonder if people from Perth refer to themselves as Perthlings.
That's great. That's clever, actually. Probably the people that like Star Wars and that, sci-fi, they're probably call themselves Perthlings.
Yeah, there's that.
There's a Lori like that.
In the airport in Perth, it's very close to the beach, so it's kind of like St. Martin in that regard. The planes will come in very close to the beach, and if you're on the beach, you're going to get blown by the jets as the jets land. So it's kind of cool.
The thing with the one in St. Martin is also dangerous.
You're down to 15%.
Oh,
it's like
get my charger.
Yeah, they're not Perthlings. Are they Perthians? Are they
Parthians.
delicious?
Parthians 4:2.
Oh, where's your charger, honey?
Thou shalt not blow the Dungaroo at night. A 10-hour flight to get to Perth for her. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I've got to do that word game, Lori. We may just have to revive it one night. You know? Just for the heck of it. But on a different night than Wednesday. Ooh.
Sorry. Alrighty, let's get this charger plugged in.
I gotta get charged.
We got the power.
I don't know why they decided to put the charger on the bottom of the phone. Can you do that?
Yeah. Could be worse. It could be like the Apple.
Well, you can move the phone up a little bit if you have to.
I got it.
Make it work. Make it work.
Well, oh, the little legs getting crazy. Pardon the technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
It's almost level.
I'm gonna spatula because I gotta get every little bit of that.
So we gotta get the chargers there.
I'm telling you, the humidity between when I went in the grocery store to when I came out is atrocious. And now it seems like the humidity's gotten worse. I mean, I know I'm cooking and all, but
Okay, so
oh, Chris,
it's like
here,
it's
you popped it. You gotta put the leg in. There we go. There we go. The
Okay,
earthquake
well.
has ended.
you're charging.
No charging. I have softs all over my shirt. So funny, whenever I wear this Rolling Stones shirt, I always get somebody that says something about, what are you trying to write a book on, High Country? That's amazing. Lori and I are similar. You and Lori are similar, I guess, too, then, a bit. So Lori lives in Massachusetts. I had a cousin that lived in Wellesley until they moved to New Hampshire. So that's one of my trips I want to do is the Northeast. I've been to New York, lived in Pennsylvania. I lived in Scranton. But I've not been to other states up in that area. Oh yeah, very, very upper crust. Her husband worked in New York. All the kids went to preparatory boarding schools. You know, very moi. And yeah, then they moved to New Hampshire. So, now, I went to boarding school for a while as a child because I wanted to. And I paid for it. I worked at the school for 9th grade. But, you know, I had to work to pay my tuition. I didn't have it paid for certain. And it wasn't a fancy schmancy school at all. It was just a religious school. Oh, All Creatures Great and Small. I love that movie. Yeah, very hotty-totty. That's why we're not close, probably. I ain't like them. I'm not country, though, either. I mean, I was born in the North. I was born in the Midwest. And as they were. But we never saw each other. I saw them once when I was maybe 4, and then again I saw my female cousin at maybe 14. I saw my one male cousin at 16, and then we saw them at funerals for my grandmother, and that's it. I eat lamb. So that's why I don't own animals. If I owned animals, I'd probably not be able to harvest them. A couple of your art. Will you send me a link to those articles at my email address, please, High Country? Could you do that? I'd appreciate it. It's Easy Street with Jen at Gmail. You know, I've been successful in cutting out a lot of that, what people call gaminess of lamb. I do a marinade of fresh rosemary, horseradish, red wine, Worcestershire sauce, black pepper. I marinate that overnight, and it cuts all that out. I've had people that say they didn't like lamb, but they love my lamb chops.
I like lamb. The gaminess is a feature, not a bug to me. So I'm down for some.
Ooh, you write for the newspaper. That's awesome. That is awesome. I don't know, if I ever wrote anything, I don't know what I'd write about. Maybe a cookbook. There's so many cookbooks, you know. How redundant can you be? And even I'm bored with most food. Chris and I were able to hit up a couple really good restaurants that were innovative and interesting, and we went to this place called Tracy's. It's all the way up in the Upper Peninsula. They were voted Michigan's top restaurant in some like 2017. And we went up there, and one of the dishes we had was smoked watermelon with pistachios and birch tree syrup. Apparently that is a thing. It's very expensive. We also had like a Navajo fry bread with chopped lion's mane, and I think it had some cilantro in it, and it was in like a little fry bread cup. It was so cute. And, it was so good. I'm trying to think what else was in that dang thing. Just the chefs were very creative, and they used ingredients that were unusual. Lori's is behind, and I'm a behind. I always feel behind Lori. Especially, you know, the gardening season was not a good time for my shoulder to be messed up. I feel bad for Chris. I ordered all this soil, and he's having to shovel it all himself. And I feel terrible about it because I planned this and then my shoulder got damaged somehow. Yeah, thank you, Susan. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so now we're pretty much just down to meatballs. Since I have so much meat in this, I'm almost tempted to just take the meatballs out and call it a day. I could make it like a meatball sub. Because I do have, oh, that'd be a good lunch for tomorrow. That's what I'll do. I'm like queen. Hunter's always amazed at what I can do with one dish. So I'll reserve this and we'll have meatball subs tomorrow. Or Chris will, I won't. I only eat once a day. It's probably not good. But I'm not hungry. So, yeah, that's an interesting question, Chris. She said they, you know, with the figs, she can't grow figs because of the cold.
That's pretty cold, man.
Yeah, but I think maybe if she gets a Chicago Hardy Fig, it might work. I mean, if they survive Chicago, they should survive almost anything, you'd think. Dang, I need more sauce. Do I? If I cover it, I might not. I might be able to get away with a slim portion. I'm going to cover it anyway. This is so thick, it's got to cook that egg in the cheese mixture. I can already see the water forming here. So,
Susan was kind enough to translate the temperature in American.
we're pretty good with that. There's a little trick. So you take Celsius, you double it, add 30, and you're pretty dang close. Until you're getting into the extreme high temperatures and extreme low temperatures, then it varies a little bit more, but 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you're pretty good using that formula. All right. You ready to try and weigh this puppy? Things huge. Huge. Cooking tip that a lot of people don't know. See these, the ends on the foil? They have these little things on the foil, and you just push them in, and it keeps your little roll from popping out. You can get your foil and plastic wrap a lot faster and easier without it becoming a difficult chore. So.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
And you got to pick it up by the cookie pan.
Right. Okay.
Now we'll take off a little bit for the pans.
Not even a pound though. Okay.
Is that my?
That's yours.
Oh, my scale's in kilograms.
Yeah, so that'll be good. That'll translate to everybody else in the world. So.
I'm not as good at on the formula of kilograms. I think it's just ridiculous that the U.S. has not gone to metrics. Like, why did they waste my time in school with the conversion crap? That I've forgotten, and now we have computer, we don't even need to, but we just need to go to kilos, metric. Tired of waiting.
All right, 8.2 kilograms.
Wow, it's gonna be about 15 pounds.
8.2 kg to LBS. 18.078 pounds.
Jeez, oh Pete.
A lot of lasagna.
A lot of lasagna. But this will probably last us a year. We'll see. That's a lot. You just don't eat lasagna that often, but I do love it. And I especially love it when I put the extra veggies and everything in it. The good part, cover it up and get it in the oven. I've got some mozzarella reserve. I used pretty much all whole milk and whole cheese. Why is that so hot? Pull this up a little bit so it might stick to the saucy sauce. I'm done. It's ready for the oven, honey. If you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it.
All set to pop in?
Got a fly. A fly got in here, yeah.
All right. So on the pan or
On the pan, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'll just
yeah.
fall out.
Okay. See if this fits all right. There we go.
I already hit this fly once.
Ow.
Oh, shoot.
Ooh. Hot. Yep. Got it. You double check.
Oh, that's going to be at least, oh yeah,
So how long?
that's a lot. I'm going to put it in like
4 hours, 4.5?
45, see
45
how
minutes.
it's doing.
Okay.
Then I'll take the lid off because I think there's going to end up, I already saw there was a lot of moisture. So once it cooks the noodles, and then I'll take it off, and then it can evaporate any excess liquid.
Okay.
Like I said, the spinach naturally puts out moisture. I put in there because I use a fresh. Now, if I'd cooked it down or put it directly in the sauce,
Okay.
I could have cooked it off, but yeah. So I do like doing meal preps a lot of times because my life is so busy. My friend Hunter and he was saying, "You're so busy. You're always moving. You're always doing stuff." I am, but I think you know how it is when you have a house and you have gardens and you have, stuff to get done. It's we have a 4-bedroom house, but luckily the guest room is, I clean that when guests are coming. Oops. For the most part, I go out there. I don't get the dust get too deep, but you can clean the bedding and all that stuff. So that's one less room I have to clean. And then Chris and I sleep in different rooms, so he cleans his bathroom and stuff. But as I've aged, I've just had to say, no, I can't. I'm not gonna do more work. My body. I got bad wrists, bad knees, bad hips, bad back, bad. Just bad. Who's bad? Dun, 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 dun. Who's bad? So yeah, I use vinegar a lot for my initial cleaning. It's food safe. So. Oh, yeah, burner's still on too. All right, kitchen's clean except for dishes. Oh, did you take the garbage out, huh?
Sure did.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You got some meatballs for tomorrow for your lunch. All you have to do is take out one of those wheat rolls and lump up a sub. So yeah. So I'm gonna go chill, y'all. My back, my hips, everything, like I said, is killing me. So I'm gonna go chill a little bit. Let me see. Oh yeah, lasagna. It's lasagna, smoking pickle. Yeah. I don't know. A newsletter. Yeah, some people do. Let me get my phone out of here. Some people do newsletters, email lists, that type of thing. Now, I have a website. I just don't have anything on it. So, but that's one thing. I need to make a video about that. So I can create a website I did it back in the old days. I would create websites for myself. But it's been a while. I think now everything's kind of point and click, kind of AI. So, yeah, safely in the oven, barely. 15 pounds, that's a lot. I hope it doesn't mess up my racks. Yeah, smoking pickle, we got a 15, how much? 18-pound lasagna. It's about 6 inches high. 18 pound, 18 pound lasagna, 6 inches high. So, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be, I was talking about the price of beef going up. So it's part pork, part beef. I did sweet pork, hot pork, beef. 2 pounds, 1 pound of each of the sweet and hot, and then 2 pounds of the beef. And then homemade sauce. I used, I have a garden, so I collect all the cherry tomatoes that I cannot eat. I also grew San Marzano. So I had 1 bag of San Marzano tomatoes that I grew, and I had like 3 bags of cherry tomato sauce that I made, which is phenomenal. Don't sleep on your frozen, your little cherry tomatoes for sauces. It's a bit of a pain because you do need a mill to mill out the skin after it's cooked, but it is so delicious. And then the other thing I did to clean out my fridge was I have a freezer, is I had made a lot of pesto. I didn't add the Parmesan cheese, so I added pesto to my sauce. And because I didn't have any fresh basil this year, because of my reserve. And so I put that in there, and then I had a little carrot because I need beta carotene. And then in the lasagna, I put fresh spinach as a layer. So, but that will release some water, so you just have to cook the lasagna a little longer to evaporate that liquid. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a great idea, Susan. Oh, that is a great idea. Wow. Impressive. Yeah, the fresh basil is so good, but pesto, fresh out of the garden that's been frozen, it still has that really bright green color to it. So it, Chris tasted the sauce. It's pretty amazing. But I did have to supplement. I had some older sauce because I didn't have enough for the top. You know how lasagna is, unless you're following a recipe, it can kind of make it up. But I had a reserve sauce that was homemade that I just brought out, defrosted it for my top layer. Oh, definitely high country. Definitely. Wow. Yeah. So are your beef prices going really high country? Do you know in the stores there? I've never looked at Buy Me a Coffee. I had basil. I think I planted 4 plants, and I pinch it, so it gets huge. And I think there's a video out there somewhere. It's a short, isn't it, Chris? I believe of me, and it's like a huge bouquet. That thing was. It's like the bunch that I picked was 2.5 feet diameter, probably.
It's pretty big.
It was a ridiculous amount of pesto. And the other kind of thing I like to do with pesto is I'll also do a sun-dried tomato pesto, which if you've never had it, oh my gosh. And the best thing about the sun-dried tomato pesto, and I freeze it, I just don't recommend putting the Parmesan cheese in till after you're mixing it. The uh, the sun-dried tomato is amazing. It's good on vegetables. It's good on crackers. It's good on a quick pasta. Just boil the pasta, put it on there, and throw some veggies in there. Oh my gosh. It is amazing. And I use different kinds of nuts too. Now, sometimes, I think today, which is kind of a shame that I use the pesto. It was just a basil pesto, not a sun-dried tomato basil pesto. But it was, I think it had pistachios in it. Yeah. Isn't it addictive? I'll take it to parties and people go nuts over it. Absolutely crazy over it. And the other thing I do is that people really like at parties, I make chana masala homemade, but then I'll turn it, well, we'll eat the chana masala a lot. But then I'll also, if I have a lot, I just feel like a dip or something like that, I'll make hummus out of the chana masala. Oh my gosh. Now that went faster than the sun-dried tomato hummus at the last party I took it to. So I wanted to do it for that setup I did in Florida at that engagement party, but since we had to travel down there, it was just too much. Too much to do. So, but yeah, I definitely want to check out your articles, High Country Homestead. Yeah, wow. Hmm. Well, here with the deportations, and then they just revoked the visa of 200 plus workers in a beef factory. So Brazil owns all the beef processing in the US pretty much, besides the small farmers, and then China owns all the pork production. So, yeah. And then besides all the deportations, the government last week, I believe, revoked valid H-2B visas for the factory workers, and it was over 200 that JBS lost, 200 workers plus they lost. So I expect this week is probably going to be the cheapest they'll be, and then they're going to go crazy. Yeah. Pesto and anything is really good. Yeah, absolutely, Lori. Absolutely. I was talking to Hunter yesterday. I said, "Do your niece and nephew want to do a manufacturing job, or because he worked for JBS at one time. He was a butcher all of his life. He worked in the industry." And I said, "Do your niece and nephew?" And it's big up there. Even who was it? My great 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 grandfather worked in Hunter's town doing beef production. He was a meat processor. And so it's part of the lifestyle up there. But I asked, I'm like, are your niece and nephew interested in manufacturing or going into farming or meat production? He's like, oh, heck no. Heck no. So, kids nowadays, I don't even know how to turn a screwdriver, some of them. But, heck, when I was a kid, my dad was like, get up, we're going to do this. You want a bicycle? We went to the junkyard. We found a decent frame, and then I had to build my bicycle. Uh, but it was awesome. Dad kind of rewarded me because after I got my purple Schwinn with the banana seat done, then he got me all the frills. He got me, the streamers for my handlebars. And um, yeah, we used to did you ever put the cards in your bike and so it could make that noise? And then back in the 60s, you could put these little plastic, they look like straws, but they were all colored. You could put, I think they were day glow. They were day glow straws that you could put in your bicycle spokes. and they were in like all the neon colors. So Dad bought me some of those to, trick out my bike. So I looked hot. He'd have me sand. My grandfather had me sanding, working in his wood shop with him, cutting, using the. Oh yeah, baseball card. I did baseball cards in the '90s even. I remember when I got my first black and white bow. Well, my only first and only black and white bow, because that was really a hot card. Bo Jackson. And I remember where I was. I don't remember the day, but I remember sitting in the parking lot and opening that pack and just being like, yes, finally. I'm not into that now. I kind of lost that. I started collecting art, which is why I have art here. I've got art there, and I got art there, and all the way over there. And yeah, I grew up a little bit, refined my taste a little bit. But most of my art, like this is a folk art piece. This guy's Francisco Joseph. He was he kind of did stuff all the way up in Massachusetts, Lori. He would do New York City. In fact, when I bought this piece from him, it was the first time I'd met him, and he was telling me he was trying to sell enough to go up to. Oh yeah, I had a Carl. Yeah, I had one of his cards. I had many of his cards. But he said, yeah, I'm trying to get up enough money to get up to a show in New York. So I'm like, well, how much is that going to cost you? And he told me, and I'm like, I'll give you what you need to make your show. And got that piece from him. But he was so sweet. We kind of kept in contact. And then I had opened up a little booth in an antique shop, and I had some art pieces in there. And so I was like, hey, if you want, we can try and do an antique, put your work in the antique thing. And so he gave me one piece to start, and he gave me a gallery price on it. That would be that mahi mahi up there. And I was hoping that and I like bright colors. I obviously didn't sell it, but I got to keep it. But there were a lot of new restaurants coming in. It was an area that was being developed, so I was hoping somebody from a restaurant would want that piece and inquire about even more pieces. I have another fish over there. I don't know why we got into the fish theme so much. I have some other fish things, and then I have a sculpture that's a fish as well. Trying to think what other fish stuff. But I do know somewhere, I think I have another fish painting. But I do mostly folk art, but the folk artists that I collect have been in museums and done museum shows, and they're in galleries, and so. But I bought when they were just starting, back in the '90s, before it became really super popular, and before they had folk art museums and stuff like that, is when I was buying. So I got pretty lucky. So there are some advantages to living in the South, and that was one of them. But yeah. Hey, Lori, I think it's weird that you don't have a number after your name. Why is that, do you think? You've been putting, I'm going to take you off, see why that did. And see if it's the moderator thing. I took you off as a moderator. I'm going to add you as a moderator. I've added you back as a moderator. No, you're a mod too, High Country. That's so weird. And when I pull up top fans, I have Chris, High Country, and somebody else, Toke Tribal. Lori, you're not even showing up on my as being around in here. That is so weird. I've never seen that before. Maybe it's a glitch. I don't even know why that would happen. Because when I pull you up on top fans, you can see who's in, hanging out or whatever, who's been around. And you're not even on the list. Oh, okay. So you can turn it off, the crown thing off on your own. I thought it was the channel owner that had to turn that off. Well, that's interesting. Thank you for letting me know. I haven't been able to check into any of that because, like you, I'm behind. No, you're behind. I'm a behind. I got to keep that straight. Keep me in check, Lori. Tell me how it really is. So, and Chris will say, he's just an ass, man. As opposed to a leg man, But maybe that's why he married me. I'm the only person chatting away in chats where I'm for an hour, then someone else comes in. They're instantly number one. That's great, High Country. I guess the rollout on this didn't go as what planned. Yeah, right. You would think so. I would like to have that control to turn it off. You know, it's funny. It's funny that they put an emphasis on who comments most. And I notice, like, if you go to your channel management, how it'll have like who comments most on your channel overall. And I'm just like, that's kind of weird because I love you. Your hubby was always a leg man. There you go. The but I just think it's odd because I mean I love everybody equally, right? But I don't know. I mean, some people I don't have their phone numbers, so we don't chat. I don't have a lot of time to chat anyway. And then some people we communicate on WhatsApp. My friend in Colombia, because anything international is way easier on WhatsApp because it's free. Yeah, because I can't call Canada. My friend in Toronto, Mark Kropka, Pirate Radio. He's in Toronto area, and we can't. We have problems texting and calling sometimes, so we just use WhatsApp. And WhatsApp's good for file transfers. So if you want to, if you're doing a collab and you want to share files, you don't have to run into that 25 gig, limit on stuff, or 25 meg limit on file sharing. So I've actually file shared huge long videos on WhatsApp, and they go through so fast. It's really amazing how well of an app. And I never did it until like a year ago. Somebody talked me into it because I needed to send them a huge video file. And and then it just happened that, I needed to contact Mark. And so, I use it frequently. And then my friend Eddie in Colombia, South America, I we communicate on the WhatsApp as well. So it's been very, very nice. But yeah,
Susan's number one. Great.
of course, Susan's number one. 5 years ago, I didn't even have a mobile phone. I barely cope with YouTube. Yeah, WhatsApp, you have to have their phone number. But you can do searches and find people. And then it'll recommend people. It's like a social thing, but I don't want other people calling me that I don't, just anybody. Yeah, hi, country. That'll make you feel good. Lori might be number one, but, she turned her stuff off. Yeah. Yeah, but I do. I never would have gone on WhatsApp or anything, or Snapchat or anything like that. Never tried it. But yeah, like I said, for international, the WhatsApp, that's the way to go. You won't have to deal with the minutes on your phone or any of that stuff. And I like it too because you can do the voice messaging too. So a lot of times if I'm busy and I'm talking with whoever, I can just push the microphone and send via voice when I get tired of talking. So I love that feature because a lot of times I'm cooking or cleaning and I can just go back and do a quick message without it taking away from my other stuff too much. But yeah. Yeah, how long have I been on? Oh, an hour and 20 minutes. I'm not going to stick around till this lasagna is done, that's for sure. But yeah, I'll wait till Lori comes back and then I'll sign off. No hurry, Lori, if you're listening. Oh, gosh. I'm going to do I keep saying I'm going to do a video where I review my first video and critique it because it's so bad. And I said that and somebody went and looked at it and they're like, oh, that's a great first video. I was like, oh gosh, it was so boring. Why would anybody want to come see me? Oh gosh. I had no personality, I try to be very proper and very, professional. I was so professional, I was boring. So, yeah. But I should do a redo on my channel on what it's about and what I do and the craziness because it evolves, And I haven't done one. I've been doing this 3.5 years, something like that. So I don't know. It'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, I wonder if Lori's taking the boat out. I'm kind of jealous that she's so close to water. That's why I miss Florida. That's the one thing I really miss about Florida is all the parks, all the nature, but especially the water, whether it was the river or the ocean. I'm not a sunbather, and almost everybody had a pool. Here, not so much. Oh yeah, my shorts in the beginning were pretty. I think my shorts. I need to go back and look at those. But several of my long form videos really pathetic, and a lot of them are cooking videos. Very pathetic. I was talking loud and I couldn't adjust the volume because I was using my phone to edit, and it's bad. It's bad. It almost sounded more like a kind of an instructional tutorial of, I don't know, military or something. I don't know how to describe it. Very bad. But again, no personality. But But then I started singing every now and then in my video, and I don't have the beautiful voice that Lori does, but uh, it just gets easier, you know. But shorts are good. I think YouTube likes people to use everything. Shorts are good for getting subscribers and introducing your channel. Um, Long form is good generally because you're teaching, you're giving value, um, or whatever. And then the lives are just hang out, have fun, but that's where you get your watch hours mainly. Uh, well, the gardening video, I just do the tours, High Country Homestead. Join. I'm part of, it's hashtag. So if you go in the YouTube search bar and you hashtag Garden Tour Saturday. Welcome back, Lori. Well, being sidetracked by your hubby is usually a good thing, I think. For me, it is. Um, but I think, where was I going with that? See, mold. Oh, Garden Tour Saturday. So, Garden Tour Saturday, you just put in the description the hashtag Garden Tour Saturday. It's an open collaboration from people all around the US. The main people are Pat's Garden Life, Grandma Sandy, uh, Pat's Life, Growing on Vancouver Island. There are a few of us, but anyone can join in. But I always mention their names to give them credit for starting the collaboration. And they'll take anyone. If you have house plants, if you do terrarium gardens, if you do fruit, vegetable, orchids, whatever you do, anyone can join. And then you just do it one-handed, and I do a garden tour and show my stuff. Sometimes I fumble on the camera, and nobody hates me. So, or you have minimal software and you can join several videos together, then if I fumble the phone, I can stop the video and then clip off that last bit where I fumbled. Or if I move my camera too fast, which I have a bad habit of doing sometimes, and I apologize for that. But I try to clip even those out. Oh, y'all are still fixing that door. Dang. Oh, yeah. I need something like that on my guest room door. Um, it's a like you have access to outside from the guest room, and but there's not much of an eaves there, so the door rots all the time. Yeah, High Country Homestead, and I'm comfortable enough where I can like throw off these garden tour Saturday videos and not edit too much, or a lot of times I don't edit at all. Um, and then I just show my progress or say what I did or show the progress since we're building new gardens now. But I'm not doing that B-roll where I put the tripod down and let somebody watch me dig or anything like that. I mean, or show me walking somewhere. Yeah, it looks great cinematically, but I'm not looking for a cinematic award for my garden videos. There are other people that do amazing, beautiful. I think it's Urban Homestead. Oh my gosh, his videos are beautiful. And but I ain't got time for that. And I'm like y'all. I like YouTube for the social aspect, and so yeah. So yeah, house maintenance is a pain, Lori. But yeah, I do like the garden tour Saturday, and then I do my live on Wednesday, and then I'm just now starting to put out. Tomorrow begins travel videos. So we went to last month. Well, we started in July 16th, and we came home on the 4th, the 3rd
Something like that.
of July. But I live in Atlanta, Georgia, so we drove all the way up to Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But we stayed like almost a week in Detroit and did a lot of stuff around there. It was awesome. Went to Motown and everything. Went to the Ford Museum, where they first made the first Model T. It's a separate private museum from the big Ford Museum. All right, High Country Homestead. Love your animals and forests, and have a great day. Maybe I'll see you later tonight over at Lori's. Yeah. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions about garden tours Saturday, just let me know. Send me an email and, you know, I'll help you out there. So, yeah. Oh, I loved it. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. But yeah, I just kind of do whatever. And oh yeah, after the Upper Peninsula, then we went to Wisconsin, went to Iowa, spent some time.
Mhm.
Of course, drove. Oh, we went to Minnesota
Mhm.
to eat lunch and dinner, pretty much spend the night and go. But they had some good. They had two restaurants that we don't see that kind of food very often. They had a Burmese restaurant, and they had a Nepalese restaurant, and both were fantastic. So on those, I'll do the hotel where we stayed, I'll do the restaurants where we ate, and I'll do whatever touristy stuff we do. So I got a lot coming up, and we like to do a lot of free stuff if we can. We went to, believe it or not, we went to the Dearborn, Michigan Historical. So just the Dearborn Historical Museum, something like that. That was free. And it was, it's a little small town museum, nothing great, but, some history of the town of Dearborn and that type of thing. It was interesting. I enjoyed it. Cute house, beautiful gardens and flowers. And just some interesting stuff inside. Oh, yeah, that was a local restaurant, Lori. That wasn't part of the trip. Tomorrow starts the part of the, well, how did I do that? I may put the hotel out for tomorrow. I don't even know what I've done. What have I done? Maybe today is the hotel and tomorrow's a restaurant. Or it could be the other way around. I forget how I scheduled it. But it's probably the restaurant, then the hotel, then the restaurant, because we stayed overnight in Lexington, Kentucky, and ate there. But I worked in Lexington, Kentucky, doing a contractor job for about six months total. It's 2-3 month stints. So I love Lexington, and it was a perfect stop off for us on our way up there. Because I think it was 7.5 hours, I think, to Lexington, and then another 6.5 hours or something to Detroit. And I travel, I like Marriott, and people are like, oh, it's expensive. It is kind of expensive, but I never pay over $100 a night for a hotel. And, well, kind of, sort of, a little bit, but prices are going up. So I try and keep it at 100 a night. And then, but because of the locations we were in, it was higher a lot of times. And then But we have done a few odd trips where Miami, we stayed on the beach in the Royal Palm. That was expensive. Um, but I lived in Miami, and Chris had never been like in Miami Beach hanging out. So that was a great experience for him. And but yeah, we try not to pay too much. And then we just started doing. I usually did exclusively Marriott when I travel. Oh, but one thing you would think Florida, St. Augustine, Christmas time, you would think you and at a golf resort, right? You would think it would be super expensive. What hotel? That was a DoubleTree. I think it was a DoubleTree at Golf World. It was $99 a night. Uh, year before last. Yes, year before last. It was so cheap. It's so cheap. That was a good look. It wasn't in town, St. Augustine, near all the historical stuff, but it was comfortable. It was nice. And we were lucky because we were there Christmas and there was a Chinese restaurant nearby. So we got to eat. We almost had to go to the bingo, the gambling or the casino to eat. But then I found the Chinese restaurant. Oh gosh. That's a problem of we used to travel a lot in December. And that was one of the things we ran into sometimes. But yeah, most stuff we do kind of reasonable. But yeah, we started doing the IHG hotels and staying in the Holiday Inn Express. And I love those, but I also let's see, we did a vacation and all the rooms are free. Like we got all free nights. So we save those points. That's like our Delta Sky Miles. I put all my groceries on Delta Sky Miles for what have we been doing? 20, I forget how long we've been with Delta Sky Miles, 20 years or something.
20 plus. Yeah.
20 plus. Yeah, we have 350,000 Sky Miles to burn through. Because COVID, yeah, we racked up a lot there. And we didn't lose any. So, but I like driving. You know, I didn't want to fly up to Michigan. And oh, I was also seeing high risk people. My friend Qstead Q, who's the YouTuber, I met with her and she has MS. In fact, we went to the hospital to visit her because she had had an attack. And so I didn't want to risk being on a plane. Hey, Angela, how are you doing? Connor and I were talking about you last night too, Angela. We were talking about how much we loved your channel and just how cool you are. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Hunter's here. Hunter and I talked. Hunter probably won't be able to get on YouTube for a while. Hunter and I talked for 7.5 hours yesterday on the phone. Oh gosh, that was fun. Yeah, that was the thing about meeting him. Like we were only up there a couple days. We got to hang out with Hunter, you know, but we really enjoyed it. So I'd love to go back up there though, do some more family history research. So, yep. Yeah. Angela, I know I asked you how your eye is doing. How is your eye doing? Because, you know me, I ask questions and I get ADHD. They should have, Angela. No, yeah. I don't think he would mind his mom passed away, which is why I called him. So, yeah. I knew she wasn't doing well. So I called him to give my condolences, and then we ended up chatting. He told me he really appreciated it, though, because it kept his mind off of things, you know. Because, of course, there's lots to do now, you know. Yeah, it is. It is. But, she had Alzheimer's, too. So Chris's mom called us today. Her sister has Alzheimer's, and she just moved here about a year and a half ago from New Mexico. She was going blind and suffering with dementia. So Chris's mom moved her here, and she said today that she doesn't expect her to last too much longer. So, yeah. But yeah, with Alzheimer's, we've already been through the Alzheimer's thing with Chris's dad, so we know how hard it is. Yeah, right, Angela? Doesn't make it easy, for certain. I told Hunter, like, I boohooed every time thought about my dad, probably for 5 years. You know, it was really hard. But now I can talk about him and laugh and stuff like that. But, you know, doesn't get easy, especially when it's your parent. And I think too, you're hit with realization. Number one, you could go through that yourself. Number two, you're next. And so that's not a comforting feeling, you know? So I think it kind of also gives you, I don't know. I think when my dad passed, I had more of a sense of urgency of living, you know, taking things in, enjoying life as much as possible, travel a little more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the way it goes. Chris's dad was tall and thin. How tall? How your dad's waist was like a 28 before he had Alzheimer's.
Well, he was that thing, but
It
he
was
was
tiny.
lean. You know?
He was
He's
6'4".
6'5".
6'5". Yes, that's listen, Lori's got my timer. She's like, "Is that your timer?" Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't do much because I got I gotta get some of that moisture out of there. I just covered it mainly to cook those noodles. My tripod. Oh, I was gonna tell Lori later when you see Susan, tell her that a lot of us before we here's my equipment. Here's my equipment. It's crooked. Gosh. This is a really good tripod. It isn't cheap. It's a little tiny, kind of compact tripod. It's a Joby. But that back thread doesn't want to do its thing sometimes. I can't tighten it. I don't know. And then it'll work. So, oh, Chris, you're going to have to come get this lasagna out. We weighed the lasagna, Angela. It's 18 pounds plus. It was, when I put it in, the layers were about 6 inches high. Oh, yeah, it's definitely not done, but I think I need to take the aluminum foil off a little bit. Yeah, it's huge, Angela. Because I'll probably be going to Sacramento for a bit. I want to make sure Chris eats. And not at restaurants. Oh, sorry, y'all. And not at restaurants. So I'm trying to
Where's this thing, right? I want the ones that cover my wrists.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, shucks.
They should be in there.
It's hot.
But yeah, what I was going to say is tell Susan that a lot of what we do now. See, y'all are on my toaster. It's a great alternative to a real tripod. A lot of us will prop up books and then get something. If you get like a non-skid, like those things you line your your cabinets with, the Rubbermaid little non-slip things. Uh, those are great to set your phone on. So you can prop it up on books and then put your little Rubbermaid thing on under it, and then it won't slip. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Are the dogs barking? It does, Angela. I put spinach in mine, like fresh baby spinach. The only thing with that is that it tends to make it a little bit watery. I mean, I could cook it down, but I don't want to. I kind of want that layer between the cheeses so it looks kind of pretty and green. But if you put it in the sauce, it kind of gets lost. So it's just mainly for looks. Sorry, Petey. Sorry, Wheezy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're great. I always keep some around. And I have little strips that I keep for certain things like that. But yeah, we get innovative when we don't have the equipment. Yeah, I'm looking at my blender here. I've got my blender out with no blender. And I bet that would even work as a good... Oh, yeah. Now, my phone's a little wide, but it almost... If I didn't have my case on it, and I do have a big phone, if I didn't have a case on it, it would fit in my blender and stand up. Just got to get creative, you know? So, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea, Angela. I love that. I even put, I have to do my eye vitamins, Angela, so I put carrots. I grated a carrot in my sauce. Not that it needed the sweetness, for sure, because most of the sauce was those cherry tomatoes from last year. So, yeah. This is one of those 7-inch pans. It's a lot. It is a lot. It's like a double dose. Double shot of my baby's love. I gotta check the noodles because even though I don't know what it was, is a 5-layer or something. I didn't cook the noodles, Angela, because I knew I had enough moisture in here to handle that. Oh, they're all soft. They're all soft. All right, Chris, honey, dear.
Ready to put it back in?
Yeah. I think I'm just going to put it over loosely so it evaporates, but then char the noodles.
Okay, so.
But just make sure this kind of lays on it a little bit. Yeah.
And then, how long do you think it'll be in after this?
Oh, I'll put it in for another like 45 minutes or something.
Just checking
probably.
every 45, okay.
Yeah, because there's egg in there. I just want to make sure. I put egg in my ricotta and mozzarella mix. And so I want to make sure that's cooked really well. Even though the noodles were tender all the way through, that doesn't mean the egg has hit that optimal temperature to kill any potential nastiness. So, oh yeah, I think so too, Angela. Yeah.
Oh, you turned the oven off.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, it's the.
Just put on 350 for an hour. That'll work.
For 1 hour, okay.
Yeah, 60. 60. Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you. Wow, you cooked lasagna. That's awesome, Bombay.
I pushed buttons till the sucker worked.
It's amazing. It's a miracle.
I just knew that, like, just the time there means that everything was off. Timer off, the heat off. It's like, no,
Lori, if you didn't know, my husband does not cook. He says he doesn't know how to cook a 3-minute egg. Yeah, Angela. Chris was out there. Angela says, good job, Chris. He was out there like trying to fill those dang garden beds because it's so cool today. It's a great day for working down here. But then it started sprinkling, so he hit the shower and then it quit. How much did you get? He got the sticks filled, which I should have done earlier this week. So all he had to do is focus on the, yeah, because I can do that one handed. It'll just take me a long time. I should have done that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what though? I would have had a hard time lifting it after I filled it with all the sticks.
Yeah, well, I had to add some fabric to get the
Oh, that's right.
some
That's right.
creases thing too. But it's going to take some time anyhow. But
Mm-hmm.
well, it'll probably take another 3 or 4 hours to get it full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, Lori. I agree. Like sometimes I have just put spaghetti in sauce and do a one pan thing, you know. I do now. I'm out of sauce though. I'm out of tomatoes. I'm out of sauce. Oh yeah, Lori. Now I got you. 90-second microwave rice, and he dumps mushroom soup on top. If he's this is weird special dinner when he's home alone. Aw. Now we have canned soup, but when I traveled to Sacramento to work every week, I'd come home and make dinners and stuff. But Chris tended to eat out a lot. He didn't even want to come home and microwave. But he's good. I'm so grateful. I know women who have husbands that don't eat leftovers. And let me tell you, it can be difficult. It can be
Yeah.
very difficult.
I need all these other husbands to keep lowering the bar, just so my husband would.
That is nice. Those are our friends, Chris. Those are our friends. We want them to have good husbands.
No, I'm not talking about the friends, just the vague acquaintances.
Oh, vague.
The friends can have good husbands.
Gosh, he's terrible.
It's starting to rain again. Well, it is. It's.
There was a blip. Mine used to cook when the kids were little if I was working, but he hasn't cooked in years. Yeah. Yeah. But we did a deal. I cook, so he does all the dishes and he's never complained. He didn't do them last night. It's rare for him not to do dishes. But
I am done this morning, so there.
we were on the phone with Hunter, so
Yeah.
that was more fun anyway. Yeah. Well, that saved me today, Angela, because I made an entire Dutch oven of sauce. I had like I don't know how much beef, 2 pounds of beef, then the hot sausage and the sweet sausage, and then I took out all my bags of cherry tomato sauce, and then I took out my final bag of San Marzano tomato sauce. I didn't have any fresh basil, so I had a nice log of pesto without the cheese. So I put the pesto in the sauce, and it was a pistachio pesto. So my sauce is gonna have pistachio in it, but that's good because it's a good fat to add. So I improvise, and I'm trying to get rid of last year's stuff and not throw it away. Oh, that's awesome, Lori. It's good to have somebody that cooks because when I'm down, or if I know like I'm having this eye surgery, so I have to prep meals. I don't have to. I mean, I could have Chris go out, but I prefer home food unless it's a special dinner or we're on vacation. And even at the end of vacation, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just so sick of eating. I was so tired of it. I think even Detroit, we ate so much good food in Detroit, but uh, we went over to Denny's for breakfast, for dinner, and it was the worst meal I've had in a long, long time. It was terrible. It is going to be amazing. Oh, that's sweet, Angela. That's awesome. Yeah, if Chris cooked, I'd do the dishes. Fair is fair. I was telling that, well, y'all know. Well, Angela knows. We talked about stuff before we got married: laundry, cooking, cleaning. Yeah. But as we're getting older, we also have to adapt, you know? So that's harder. Like I said before we got married, I would, if Chris initiated the laundry, I would fold it and put it away. But with my shoulder, with my bad hips, not so much the darks, but the whites really aggravate me trying to get in to the back, and get that sock that's stuck to the top of the washer. Because we have a low, I don't have my stuff up on stands. So it's a low front loader that's pretty large. And well, that's the other thing, Angela. I have that wrist problem, and I've gotten to where I can't vacuum anymore. And Chris was doing it. I felt terrible about it. So we finally bought um, a Rumba that empties itself. So I prefer that over feeling guilty about him having to vacuum on his days off. So, but we've kind of adjusted. So I can get the darks out very easily, because you pull out a pair of jeans and it pulls everything else out. So I don't have a problem there. So I'll initiate the darks and put them in the dryer now. And then, but now because of my shoulder, I can do socks and underwear, bras, but anything long and shirts, jeans, towels, stuff like that, I can't do those because my shoulder. So we're adapting. We just adapt as it happens. And then the whites, I'll put those in right before Chris comes home from work. So he just moves them over to the dryer. So, yeah, yeah. But yeah, we talked about everything because I was working and I just I wasn't going to be like doing it all. So I wanted to make sure that things were equitable. But when I worked or when I traveled, well, when I ended up doing eventually, once I got established and a good job and everything, after we got married, oh, wait, I got that new job right before we both got new jobs right before we got married. So that was interesting. And then and then I traveled a lot of times. So I ended up having someone come weekly in the neighborhood, a friend of ours, and clean the house. And our house was really tiny. So it was like $50 every other week. I mean, because it's just the two of us, that's all we needed. And then we do the laundry and cooking and dishes. And yeah, there was other cleaning we did. But that was a blessing. But I had the income for that too at the time. Yeah, I don't do sheets anymore, Angela. Between my wrist and my shoulder, Chris does all the sheets on and bedding. Oh, yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work. So even our best laid plans don't last forever.
When I want people at work to groan, I'll use that expression. Teamwork makes the dream work.
And then people hate that expression at work.
Yeah, yeah.
At least you don't say, great synergy.
No, no. Well, I'll go one up beyond that. I'll say it's time for us to proactively leverage our synergy.
Oh, proactive leverage synergies, yes.
So you can integrate new paradigms.
To integrate new paradigms, if you didn't hear
There
that.
you go.
Oh, corporate speak. I don't miss it at all. BS. Oh my gosh.
There's just that rampant lack of specificity. I mean, nothing. what's being synergized. It's all words without meaning. And that's intentional. That's
Yeah, double speak, cliches, stuff that really doesn't mean anything. Yeah, just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I mean, I get it, but yeah. hmm Now, one of the engineering companies I worked for, the owner actually, he lives in Raleigh. The guy who was my boss, the owner of the company, he lives in Raleigh now. And as a company, he's a brilliant engineer. Uh, but he has inventions and all kinds of stuff. But he used to have us do these quarterly meetings, and the entire company, we do an off-site quarterly meeting, and he would be up there getting everybody hyped up and everything. And if you showed up late for the quarterly meeting, he would make you come up front and sing whatever song he chose. It could be Head and Shoulders, Knees and Toes. It could be the Duke fight song. Even if you didn't go to Duke, you just sing it. It was, I think, good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Uh, He'd do the chicken dance and make people do like the chicken. And it was always wild. Like he would set everybody off and then he'd go, focus, people, focus. Oh, it was so funny. And what was funniest is my coworker, actually, was Noir my employee? I think he was, but he's some huge manager for Samsung or something now. But he was from Syria. So to see him get up and do these kind of country songs was hilarious. And I worked with a bunch of people from around the world. It was a really cool environment. Um, but yeah, Joe Forbes, he was a trip. He was a trip. And a lot of fun. And one of the coworkers, he was an engineer, Mike Wolf. I'll never forget this. He was sitting in front of me, and he would make us all. There were a lot of people in the room. We had at least 100 employees. He'd make us each stand up because a lot of us travel in and out of the office all the time. So he'd make us all stand up, give our name, give our background, something about us. And I remember Mikey Wolf, he stood up on his chair when it was his turn and he acted like he was like, yeah, I'm Mike Wolf and I just got a new tattoo. And he acted like he was getting ready to pull his pants down and show his butt. Those were the days. Joe was the most awesome boss, and that whole environment was just great to work in. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, I worked in some serious offices but Joe was probably the most fun I ever had, especially with the owner of the company. He was just cool. Another thing I really liked about Joe is a coworker. Um, he was a field engineer, and he had a criminal record. Apparently, he had a felony on his record, and I don't know why, but they didn't do an immediate background check. And then, I mean, he had been working there for quite a while. And then Joe bought the company. And so he found out about that felony charge. And he asked the guy to lunch. He's like, hey, can we go to lunch? And he's like, sure. And then they went to lunch and he asked him all about the felony charge. And, he said, hey, I got charged with it, but, I ended up not being convicted of anything. And he kept his job. He is awesome. And he had company credit card and stuff like that. I mean, Joe was just a very cool, understanding boss. More bosses should be like that. He taught me a lot. It's like my employees, I would I would do their filing because they hated, and they were guys mostly, and they hated filing, so I would do their filing for them. I had one of my employees come into my office and say, "I need to talk to you," and I'm like, "It's really weird," because he was a really cool dude, and he's in management with AT&T now. All my employees did really well. Mm. But he came to me and he said, "Hey, look, out of the blue, Bechtel offered me a lot of money to come and work for them. Uh, and I'm his boss." He's like, "I don't want to burn bridges or anything, and I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Look, I'm not going to hold you back. You know, if you have a chance to move on to another company and make more money and be more successful, go for it. Absolutely." And he did. And then he came back like a month later. So, yeah. And then after we built all the wireless networks and, that we had contracts for, he went to, yeah, he worked for Bechtel. We did a lot of work with Bechtel. Bechtel was sometimes co-engineer on some projects with us. So, yeah, Bechtel, the ones that built the Hoover Dam. Yeah. So, yeah, and I worked with some Bechtel people, but there were a few people Bechtel tried to take, but I think Tony's the only one that went for it. So, yeah. Yeah. I didn't work for Bechtel. Tony did. I worked for smaller companies. The first company I worked for in wireless was the owner was from Australia, and that was a crazy environment. That was an out of control environment. There's a difference between a party animal and some guy that just makes your work environment fun and comfortable. And that boss, that owner of the company, he would do, he'd date girls in the office. He would take them once a month. We would go to Las Bravas Cantina over on Sandy Springs, Angela. They're on the access road near Northside Drive. We would go over there to Rio Bravo once a month, first Tuesdays. And he would buy us food and drinks, and people would get stupid drunk. Stupid, stupid drunk. Oh, that's wild, Angela. That is wild. That's pretty cool. Wow. I mean, they're huge. They are, they're a huge company. I don't know what they're involved in now. But yeah, that boss was crazy. He'd date women. He did the first Tuesday where people got irresponsible, drunk, and driving. I think he got pulled over for a DUI with employees in the car. Um, he would do, we'd be sitting at the office on a Friday, and all of a sudden there'd be a cart with somebody serving us margaritas. It was crazy. The only good thing about that boss is we had our quarterly meeting in Mexico. So that was fun. That was fun. I think we had one meeting and then we had one dinner, and the rest of the few days we were there was just party, party, party. Yeah. It was pretty wild, Lori. It was pretty. I just, I look at the liability aspect of it, though. All of us could have lost our jobs if he had gotten in severe trouble and went to jail. You know, so for me, it was a job security thing, not a prudish or well, liability. I didn't want anybody's life to end because you know my employer was doing stupid stuff and encouraging other employees to do it. You know, so yeah. Hey, Life with Misty, how are you doing, girl? I need to get on my comments. Do you? I think I y'all. I have to apologize. I'm changing up my routine, so I'm trying to not do comments immediately all the time. I'm trying to do once or twice a week where I can just sit down and focus on that. And yeah, yeah, Angela, it was crazy. I'm doing good. The lasagna's in the oven. It's already gone 1 hour. We're on hour two. To let it finish up a bit. It's a 7-inch pan, so it's like a 6-inch lasagna. Um, well, actually, it was pretty close to the top. I might have to look. It was like maybe even a 6.5-inch lasagna. And the pan is huge. So it's going to be a lot of freezer meals. So it'll be small portions that are very tall. Yeah. And of course, we won't even be able to eat it tonight because it won't be cool enough to cut into. So, Life with Misty. I've only been on your channel a couple of times. I did subscribe to you, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. Life with Misty, can you tell us about your channel? And Chris, do you mind? Do you know how to do a link to someone's channel?
I think so. I could find.
Lori's good. Lori, if you don't mind, if you're here,
Let me try.
please drop a link for Life with Misty.
Okay. I'll do that as well.
But yeah, oh, you were coloring the other day because I was in your live. You said that you do colored pencil coloring. I know your son's recovering. How's your son doing, Misty? He just had knee surgery. Color Live, food shorts and vlogs. Yes. Do you ever, Color Lives. Yeah. Right. I was just saying earlier, Misty, on YouTube anymore, they really like you to do all three. I think if you just try to do shorts, unless you're doing something big production, I don't know. We have a friend that does just shorts. His name is Snack Master, and he tries like drinks and sweets and stuff I really don't do so much, candies, new stuff. But he did get me hooked on those. What is that company? Abruzzi or something gummies. I've never liked really the Haribo gummies too much. I didn't like the texture or the flavor. Um, but he talked me into, and I buy the sugar-free version of those, and they are so amazing. Thank you all. Good job, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then if y'all want to drop your links into, Angela is amazing. She does dog rescue, mainly the unwanted dogs, the older dogs with health problems. She has a pit bull. She has Wheezy. What kind of dog is Wheezy, Angela? Um, yeah. And then, yeah, great minds think alike. And oh, I thought your son had knee surgery. I'm sorry, Misty. Yeah. Yeah, that's not a great feeling. Half Chihuahua. Yeah, it is a. Wheezy's so ugly, she's beautiful. We'll just say that about Wheezy. uh, Merla. Yeah, Merla, I don't see as much on your channel. Um, so she does that, and she is the queen of dump cakes. If you ever have to go anything or take a dessert, go to Angela's channel, or if you like dump cake, she has key lime. She has, what do you have? You have like coconut types, you have coconut chocolate types, you have a crazy variety. And the key lime dump cake is it's a cream cheese with, key lime. She is fresh key lime as well. And she worked for a long time to get that recipe just right. And then Lori's prepping, she's live a lot. So if you're up in the middle of the night, can't sleep, Lori will probably be awake doing live stuff. And she has usually different people on panel, and um, there's a guy from Sweden, a guy from West Virginia, a guy that lived in West Virginia who's in Oklahoma. Uh, we have Susan who's in Australia. Just a nice mix. I like Lori's channel. Really, Angela? I'm not a baker myself. I don't do sweets. You see me. If I do a pie, I'm doing berries out of my garden, and use artificial sweetener. But then I only put the ready-made pie crust on top. I don't do a 2-layer pie, just to cut back on the bad stuff. Like I'm saying that like the swerve probably in a bad stuff, but beet sugar. And I'm 62, so if it kills me, I've had a great life. Yeah. Oh yeah, Angela, the key lime, you got me on that, because then I went to the store and I normally would never buy these. And then seeing you are an influencer, because I didn't do that, but I ended up buying these sugar-free lime wafers. I haven't tried them yet though, so I don't know if they're any good or not. I bought them like last week. I had to go 2 weeks ago or so. I went into Publix for something, and they were buy one get one free. So they do have price on if you get one. I don't know. I hope they're good. I hope so. Sometimes I just want a little snacky poo, and they're perfect. 3 is only 150 calories, but it still has 22 grams of carb and 7 grams of fat. So the fat offsets the carb. Yay. So, and 0 cholesterol and only 35 milligrams of sodium. And only 1.5 grams of sat fat. So, yeah, they're not too bad. No artificial colors or flavors, no high fructose corn syrup. Oh, these may have real sugar in them. Oh, baked with milk and eggs though, so a lot of people, lacto-ovos, wouldn't eat it. Oh, there is sugar in it. This is not sugar-free. But I thought all of the Vortman's products were sugar-free. They're not? Wow, I just assumed that. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's better than chocolate chip cookies. You just got a hankering for something sweet. So, yeah. We put, you got Lori's, we got Angela's in there. Did we get Angela's channel in there? Oh, Angela, yeah, thanks. But, yeah. Lori, do you make videos too? I've been just, since I met you, I've been like trying to, we just got back from vacation, July, what I say, 3rd. So I'm still trying to catch up with that. Trying to catch up with my gardening, trying to catch up with my cleaning because all the prep I had to do before we left. Um, I mean, I left the house pretty, I like to leave the house clean and come home to a clean house, but I need to dust. Chris needs to dust. I have dust mite allergies. Um, yeah, I know what happens when we assume. Makes an ass out of you and me. I loved that Odd Couple. I'll never forget that the Odd Couple thing where they did that, and I'm surprised they got by with that in those days on TV. That I think that was the real shocker. I didn't know that, Angela. Yeah. Now I've got all these figs, and we've been eating as much as we can, but we're not going to be able to eat all of them. And so I'm looking at maybe freezing them, and then I don't know what to do with them. So, but in my head, you know what I'm thinking? In my head, I'm thinking a nice, kind of like a tart, maybe. I don't know if I wanted a double bar, but I'm thinking like a walnut crust, some figs. Um, should I do ricotta? Should I make it like a cheesy walnut ricotta figs? Do like a mashed fig thing on top, or just lay? I think just lay the figs. So I might try to do something. I think I might try to do something. Just make a walnut crust and maybe put some oatmeal in it too. Oatmeal, butter, cinnamon, cinnamon, cardamom, maybe cardamom, cinnamon and cardamom in the crust, maybe. And then ricotta, maybe just with a hint of swerve or honey, and then lay the figs on top and bake it. You know, that might be pretty good dessert. Or if I do it with a ricotta, probably I could pre-bake the crust, put the ricotta honey on it, put the figs on it, and then maybe just broil the top to kind of caramelize the figs a little bit. Yeah, maybe I should play with that a little bit. Oh yeah, I looked at a figgy pudding yesterday. A lot of times, what I'll do is just like a side dish at dinner. It's really an hors d'oeuvre. I'll do cut them in half, kind of scoop out a little bit of the center, and then I'll crush some walnut gorgonzola cheese and stuff it with that, and then sprinkle a balsamic glaze on top and put it in the oven for a bit. Oh my gosh, it's so darn good. I could just eat those for dinner. And then I saw some ricotta fig recipes, so that's why I came up with that. Yeah, but I'm just thinking of a really like healthier crust with the oats and nuts instead of like a flour based something or graham crackers. Although graham crackers aren't that bad for sweets. If you're going to do something sweet, they're not too bad. Dates, stuff them with nuts and cheese. Oh, yeah. My favorite way to eat a date is stuffed with chorizo. You know, it's not going to be easy. Date stuffed with chorizo, spicy, since you like spicy things, Angela. And then you put like a tomato sauce over it, and then you sprinkle, what would he put on there? Goat cheese, I think, and broil it. Oh my gosh. So, so there was this guy, he was on, was that Cutthroat Kitchen? I never watched it, but I found his episodes on YouTube, and his name was Andre or Andreas. He went by both. And he was from South America initially, but he's here living and is a chef. I think he was born here. Maybe his parents are from South America. I do quick fig preserves where I just do honey, fig, some walnuts or something, and then yeah, I don't can it or anything. Yeah, so you may remember him, Lori. He was the guy everybody attacked. He was gay. He was cute. He was funny, but he was so good that everybody was trying to knock him off, and he ended up winning. He had to do a bento box out of a tuna sandwich or something. It was crazy. But he ended up opening a restaurant near us. And he's the one that did the stuffed dates and chorizo, tomato, and then the goat cheese on top. His food was so good. And he eventually closed down, but I loved his restaurant. Atlanta has a lot of celebrity chefs here that live here. We have uh, Kevin Rathbun. We have name escape me, Hopkins. Hopkins. We have Linton Hopkins. Uh, oh, I love ginger. Oh, bourbon fig preserve. Oh, that sounds so good. Well, I might have to try that. Bourbon fig. But yeah, uh, he was just very innovative. I really liked his food. His burgers were amazing. His fries, he did them the European way. They were hand cut, fresh potato fries. Par fry them, take them out, fry them a second time. Oh yeah, Alton Brown, he's from Atlanta. Um, uh, Samuelson just opened a restaurant here. The guy that does his restaurant was Gun Show. I think it just closed down because he's doing other things. He has a couple restaurants here. He's a big redhead guy. He had a big beard. I've heard he's lost some weight recently. He's a chef that's here permanently. I don't know that Samuelson is here permanently. I just know he opened a restaurant here. Um, and then we have an amazing array of just restaurants. So, yeah, I do like Alton Brown a lot. I do. But yeah, I need to come up with something for these figs. And I need to see if they can be frozen. Now, I heard stuff like fig bellinis and stuff like this. So I don't know if you put the figs in syrup for a while and then put the syruped fig in the bellini or how that works. You ate that entire watermelon salad by yourself. You just finished it. I have been craving watermelon. I'll get a whole watermelon, and Chris probably only gets a quarter of it. I swear I ate half of one in one sitting one night. But that watermelon salad, that's what we were talking about. Connor was scrolling when we were talking, and he's like, oh, Angela has a watermelon salad, and it looks so dang good. Oh, yeah, it does. Now, have you tried the Vietnamese cucumber salad, Angela, since you like mint so much? I put a lot of mint in my the last batch I made because I don't measure anything. I just cut it up, throw it in there. Oh yeah, the pistachios. That's what they did on that smoked watermelon salad we had up in Michigan. The watermelon was smoked, and they had mint and pistachio and that birch. I can't remember what had the birch syrup on it. Or do they have a? I'll have it. The menu's coming out soon. I have a video Eventually I'll have a video on that restaurant. It's called Tracy's in the Upper Peninsula. And they had like Indian fry bread with a lion's mane mushroom. And it was a raw rhubarb pico de gallo. It was to die for. It was so good. And that's the one that had the birch syrup on it, which is way more expensive than maple syrup. Yeah. Yep, Angela. Chris was just in love with that. He loved that dish. But they had some amazing food. It was voted Michigan's #1 restaurant in 2017. Yeah. Yeah, I just, you know me, I love food. The Publix had buy one get one free on the pre-cut melon today, and since I was going to make this lasagna, I just went easy. I think I paid $1 for them cutting it. You know, which is kind of stupid since I'm complaining about prices of groceries, but I'm tired, and it really, really hurts to cut any dang thing like that big, that watermelon, because I have to use both hands, or maybe that butternut squash. That was a little tough too, but I have a really good Asian cleaver that's solid carbon. Yeah, it's crazy smoked, Lori. I don't know that it's said or not, Angela, on the menu. So, but I've got the full menu will come out when I do that video. And I have one coming out 310. They did some interesting stuff too. 310 in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
I like trying to do a couple good, really good restaurants when we travel. Um, so, but oh, the meal we had, what did we have? Like 5 dishes, 6 dishes? Basically, it was a 6 course meal. And yeah, the portions, they were small plates, so they were shareable. But when you think of what a 6 course meal would cost 2 people in Atlanta, and you get that kind of unusual, creative type of dish.
Was that
I had a cocktail too. I had like a $13, $14 glass of Michigan wine. I didn't know Michigan is becoming the new wine place because California is suffering. But the Michigan wines are being held in high regard these days. But I couldn't leave Michigan without having a glass of their wine. So I splurged on a $14 glass of wine at dinner, and our bill total was $120.
sounds about right? Oh,
So it was about half the price of what we would have paid for a meal at Bacchanalia, if not more, if not way less. Because I think Bacchanalia would cost for a 6 course meal, I think it's 150 a person about. So I was really thrilled. And I like to go to those restaurants because it inspires me to do more things in the kitchen and cook different ways. Yeah. The only thing I will say, Angela, is I boiled it so much that Chris didn't like it. I did boil it for a good while because I was doing other stuff, and it's in water so I could forget it, right? But it did boil all the salt out of some of it, like you almost had to salt the bacon. The pork taste was so pronounced. Where with bacon, it's the fat and the salt, you know. But I was just amazed at how clear the oil was. It didn't have those brown bits in it or anything. It was just weird. So since you watch your salt anyway, I find that the high sodium the low sodium bacon is still a bit salty for me. Um, so yeah, if you want to just cut that edge off a little bit, that'll do it. And I did that with thick cut bacon too. I don't know how thin cut would be. Yeah, well, it depends, Lori. If you're trying to get the salt out, and you're watching your sodium, you can boil the bacon, and I'm telling you, it's like minimal salt. Mm-hmm. I don't know though, Angela. It's just so weird. You get the smokiness. It's like smoked pork and not bacon. It just takes the bacon flavor out of there. It's just so weird. It's very weird. But I imagine, and I didn't, like I said, I was doing 2 pounds of bacon. Those big thick cut packs. I did two of those, and so I mean, I imagine if you wanted to, do it for 2 minutes, then a 5 minute, and just test it out a little bit. Like boil a strip for 5 minutes, cook it, and then boil a strip for 2 minutes, cook it, or two, then five. Go up. It'd be good to use in a potato. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, don't overboil the bacon. But I like that I was just able to take that grease and pour it right into my grease jar. Mm-hmm. All but 2 feet of his intestine. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's tough. I'm sorry, Angela. We knew somebody that survived pancreatic cancer as a child. And she's like, yeah, I just can't gain weight. If she eats, it just goes right through her, basically. Thin as a rail. I just cook mine in the oven, but boiling it for me, the fat sounds like an awesome way to get nice, clean bacon fat. Yeah, Lori. Yeah. Yeah, as a child. Yeah. So, yeah, I do mine in the oven as well. Mostly. Mostly. Sometimes if I get impatient, I have a really big skillet, so I'll throw some in the oven and do some in the skillet. Just cut down on my time. So, yeah. I think she was a teen. They ended up going up to where'd they go? Boston, Sloan Kettering, or I think Boston General or something, and they saved her life. I mean, that was back in the day because she'd probably be 45, almost 50. Yeah, she's had a child or two. I haven't seen her in a long time, but we'd see him in social situations. Yeah, crazy. One of my good friends here, her husband has been battling pancreatic cancer. Now he's battling adjusting to an insulin pump. So thank goodness for her. So far, so good. He had a scare on his last follow up, and it turned out great. You know, I think and his brother passed of pancreatic cancer. You know, so I mean, I hope all of his family gets checked regularly for that because obviously it's a genetic thing. My on my side of the family, it's a liver cancer. My grandmother was a teetotaler and had liver cancer. So you never know what you're gonna get, you know. But I think cancer it's scary. I think it's not as scary anymore because they have so many more drugs and ways to attack it if caught early enough. You know, and that's the thing is getting it early enough. My friend Michelle, she died of colon cancer. Chris's friend died of colon cancer the second time he got it. Uh, But yeah, my friend Michelle, she'd gone to the doctor and she had good medical care out in San Francisco. But she, they kept treating her for indigestion, looking at IBS, like, you know, but she was one of the early, 30-year-olds with colon cancer. Same with our friend Steve, you know. And so the doctors, when you're that young, they're so dang dismissive. Even I had a lump on my breast. I was 20, 24, 25, and it was kind of high up. It was, well, it used to be higher, and now it's, but it was higher. And I went to my doctor, and mine too, Angela, low cholesterol and heart disease. You would think, no, but it does happen. And that's what we've got. Low cholesterol. My mother-in-law, she heard my lab report for, she was a medical professional, but she heard my lab report. She's like, send me all your labs. I sent it to her. She's like, your cholesterol is ridiculously low. I think it's like 95. It's pathetic. But yeah, so my breast thing, I had this lump and I go into this GYN here in Atlanta, and she's like, it's nothing, it's nothing. We'll do a mammogram, you know. And so they do the mammogram. A week goes by, nothing. 2 weeks goes by, nothing. I call up to the office and I'm like, yeah, I had a mammogram. I'd like to get my results, please. Do I have to make an appointment? Are you going to call me? What's going on? Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it. Nothing. Nothing. Called again. I had to call several times. Finally, I called up and raised hell. I'm like, damn it, give me my results. What the heck is going on? And wow, that's wild, Angela. Statins are amazing for some people. Is that what it is, statin? The miracle of pharmaceuticals. I love it. Yeah. And you need some cholesterol. Every cell needs some cholesterol. And they say cholesterol is good for the brain. I don't know. They say. I don't know. I'm not a medical expert. But yes, I had to call and demand my results. And she had some nurse call me. The nurse calls me and is like, oh, yeah, you need surgery. Go to this doctor, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why? For what? Like, can you tell me what? Give me my dang results. Yeah. So I ended up having to take, yeah, my mother-in-law is the same way, Lori. um, but yeah, I had the surgery and it turned out it was hyperplasia. It was all precancerous in my 20s. So I've had to like do mammograms every year since then. I've skipped. When I was younger, because the healthcare system, even back then, was just abysmal. I'd go and I'd get the mammogram, and then inevitably every time I'd get the call, can you come back in? We need to do it. We need to do, and then they come in, I do the micro mammo. And they do the micro mammo, and then they come in, can you come in again? We need to do an ultrasound. How much time off of work do I need to take? And the stress of waiting, because you'd get the mammo and it'd be, a week, 2 weeks before you get the results. Then you get, so you're going on for 2 months with all the stress of your test. And they would do that every dang time. So then even though they're outside of my normal hospital care team because I try and stay with doctors at the same hospital. And so all my information's on my chart. Everybody knows what's going on with me. Um, but I went off on this because I found a breast care center that does, you come in, they do the mammogram, they do an ultrasound, and you get the results right there, same day. Yes, I have dense breast. So not so much anymore, but back then I did. But if they saw something suspicious, then they would want to do the micro. Then they'd zero in like, you know, a smaller film to look at a calcification or a spot they were suspicious of. But yeah, where I go now, in fact, they found something one time. I'm laying on the table talking to the doctor. She's like, yeah, we found something. We're questioning. We'd like to do a biopsy. I'm like, okay, when are we going to do that? She goes, we're going to do it now. I'm like, now? Really? She's like, we've never had that reaction before. Oh gosh, because I was up in Chicago one time and I ended up with a cyst, and I had a lot of cysts too. I had it taken out. I had a cyst and it was so sore, so painful, and I had to fly home, all this stuff, wait for the appointment. I called my doctor. He's like, well, you need the mammo too, so I'll order mammo and the aspiration. I'm like, okay, cool. So I make my appointment. They have the orders. And I told them why I was making the appointment. When I went in, they're like, sorry, you're only getting a mammogram today. I'm like, what about my aspiration? I'm in pain. And they're like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, do I need to go to the ER? They're like, no, they won't do it over there. I was like, this is insane. Yeah, I've had so many biopsies. I've had so many cuts. You know, I've had like 3 needle biopsies. I've had two. Well, the one was pretty big, the first one. I've had a couple, two incisions, maybe three. I can't remember now. Yeah, I had to wait, Angela. So I had to finish my vacation, fly home, and then wait for the appointment, then go in. Yeah, it was a lot. I was furious. That's why I went with this other group and I won't leave them because now, when infected, I would just get these cysts. They would be terribly painful. And this one just, I don't know, probably from flying, it got aggravated. It was probably there. And then when I flew, the pressure probably just inflamed it. Because we were there only like a day or two, a day maybe when it happened. Kind of just woke up with it. I freaked out. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, Lori, try doing it with me. I fill that plate and they squish me down to about like that. But yeah, it's pretty bad. It's terribly and painful, but better than cancer. And then they did one 3D, and that was when you had to go in like they had a 3D machine at one time, and that you had to go in on your knees and kind of lay down. It was fairly comfortable, but a weird position to do a 3D mammogram. But yeah, I absolutely will not leave that practice if at all possible. And my doctor left, and luckily they put me in with someone else. Yep, beep, beep, beep. Thanks. Thank you. I ignore it. Chris is going to get it. He's got to lift the pan out anyway. So I'll pull it out and check it. But yeah, but doing that every year, I couldn't. I was just so stressed and having to work. And when I looked for a new one when I after the cyst thing when they wouldn't aspirate the cyst. So that's why I was like, I can't do this anymore. So there was another time where they scheduled my appointment. I thought I was on time, but I was like 2 days early for my yearly mammogram. And they came in and said I'd have to pay out of pocket. I was like, really? Like your staff couldn't have looked at that and scheduled it properly and said, oh yeah, no. And I was like, well, why couldn't you have told me that before I showed up for the appointment and took off time off work? So
I don't know if they'll need more.
let's go check out the lasagna. Lasagna. Oh, turn around. Turn around. Oh, I got that. Oh, that's so huge. A huge bag. So yeah, let's see. Let's see what we got. That looks a little. I see a little moisture here, but it looks pretty firm. I'm thinking once this evaporates, it's going to be perfect.
Good.
Wondering if I should put mozzarella cheese on it now or later. It's good mozzarella cheese, so it's going to be. I just have a little. I'll use what I have in this container. And just call it done. Because I had just less than a pound of cheese left. I still have another thing of mozzarella. I think I'll just put this little bit on maybe. I don't know.
It's got so much heat, it's melting right now.
Well, this is really good. It's a higher quality mozzarella too. Full milk, fat, the good stuff. I think it needs more. Do you mind? Do you mind grating some of this?
Let's see if we got it
Is
here.
a grater? No, here's a grater. Over here.
Oh, okay. Just need to get a bowl here.
I'm just gonna give you a little piece of cheese. It doesn't need a lot on there. Maybe half of this, you think?
Okay.
Now I'll put you can put that back.
Okay.
I'll show you how I do this. I have ways. Sometimes I use just a paper plate or something.
Okay.
Because if you put the grater on there, it slips and slides everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I just do lay out some parchment paper. Turn it upside down so it's uncurled. And then you just pick it up when it's grated and right into the thing.
I can use this one or do I need to?
Just rinse it off and dry it. It's just carrot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, mozzarella for your meatballs.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, maybe you could do it with it. You want mozzarella in your meatball stuff for lunch?
Yeah, since I'm already grading it, I'm not going to keep going.
Or maybe a lunch. You take a meatball stuff for lunch? Oh, he's so helpful. Grating cheese hurts my hand too. I have a food processor, but I don't think I've ever used my food processor to grate cheese. I hear it can gum it up and stuff. I know, right, Lori? See you later. Good seeing you. Angela. Love ya. Yeah, boy, that looks good. Oh my gosh, my stomach's rumbling now. Now I need to go make dinner. What time is it?
It's 11 minutes past 7.
11 past 7? Oh my gosh, I gotta get dinner going. Is it still on?
I'm still on at 3:50.
Usually I bake this and I gotta bake dinner. I gotta make dinner now. Dinner is gonna be simple. I'm gonna make an Asian slaw salad with I think I'm gonna put some water chestnuts. I may run out there. It's not raining and snip off some green onion.
Okay.
And I've got some of these Lachoy noodles. Oops, Lachoy noodles and almonds that I'll put on it. And I'm just gonna do some chicken strips and do a soy sauce, sesame oil, a little bit of rice wine vinegar, dressing. So easy, simple. It's chilly today for summer, but it's a good, quick summer meal. I could eat it without the chicken myself. You know, doctor says more protein, more protein. You know, I like the thinner ones better, but they were out last time I bought noodles. The rice noodles, they're super crispy. But yeah, they're good. I used to sit there and eat them out of the can as a kid. My mom would get furious. I loved them so much though.
All right, getting this first one done here.
Yeah, so that'd be good. I do love a good salad. I love a good salad. See you later, Angela. Have a good dinner. But that lasagna is going to be tomorrow night's dinner for certain. But I'll put it in the fridge, and once it cools off, we'll put it in the fridge and then cut it up. The only thing is, I may have to, hopefully it's not too dry, I may have to make a little sauce to go over it. I don't know, we'll see. I need to buy more crushed tomatoes. I'm about out of that. So, all right, Lori, well, I'm going to do dinner number 2 here. And get going. I didn't realize it was so late. But I'm going to go. What are you having for dinner tonight, Lori? And I just buy those Tyson chicken strips. They're not too bad. Nutritionally, it was actually recommended by a dietitian. And they're convenient. When I forget to take something out of the fridge or I'm busy, I can throw in these chicken fingers, throw them on a salad. Which is normally how we normally don't eat the chicken tenders by themselves. We usually it's usually in a salad. Just by these. So I'm just not into frying. Guys, make your own I love that. Make your own sandwich night or leftovers. Yes. Yes to both. Yes to both. I love leftovers. This lasagna is going to be so much better tomorrow. You don't want to for certain. For certain. Slow mix. And I love this too because it's just buy that bag slaw. I was gonna put extra carrots in it, but like I said, I need my beta carotene. I was gonna put extra carrots in it, but I'm not in the mood to do more grating. Actually, I'm not gonna dirty another pan. Take this lasagna off of this pan if I can. Chris, see if you can lift this just enough for me to take this baking sheet, so I don't have to.
Oh,
Even though he does dishes, I try and be nice and.
Okay.
Just a little bit. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay.
Yay. Good job. So no sense in grabbing another baking sheet when I had one under the lasagna, and it's preheated. So save Chris a dish. What is this? 3. I know Angela has that air fryer. She could have hers faster. 425 for 22 minutes. Bake. Start. How much chicken you want, honey?
Maybe 3 or 4 fingers.
I'll just make the whole bag.
Okay.
There's a leftover and I can eat it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So. The geese have been hanging out here all the time. They're just like here. How many times were they here today? Like 3 or 4.
They kind of go back and forth from the neighbor's house and all.
Yeah, they go back and forth from eating grass to coming back over to drink water.
So here's this portion. Do you eat more or?
Oh, let's see. What did it say? Oh, what's on there? It's not preheated yet, so they'll go in for 28 minutes. There we go. And then here, oh shoot. We have to put toothpicks on it.
Oh.
Alright. Yeah. Do my cheese over here. Oh, look how beautiful. Just a little. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hey, Lori, did you know that song was originally... Who wrote that song?
Otis Redding?
Otis Redding sang it. He wrote it. I think he did record it.
Mm-hmm.
It totally changes the meaning of the whole song, doesn't it, Lori? I mean, what was it? Anthem for Women became was originally a song about a man demanding respect from his woman. Crazy. That's why I love doing trivia, because I learned that by doing the trivia. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But you know, Motown did a lot of recycling of songs. And they had like a formula, you know, and they stuck to it. That looks so good. So good. All right, back to the salad here. Yeah. So the original version, I probably wouldn't have cared for as much. You get another bowl. I love these giant bowls. They're good for a big salad. They're good for a pho. When I used to make that more often. Now I have to go a lot farther to get an Asian market, so we don't do pho as much anymore. You want a good bit, honey?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's a portion, the lunch portion left. You want to go and get in the soy and sesame? I don't want any fish sauce in it, just soy and sesame. Rice wine vinegar, just a little.
Okay.
That'd be good. But I love that this salad is just super, super, super easy. I should tilt the camera down some. I don't know, don't tell me. risk of
Soy, vinegar.
making a lot of noise. Huh, that's funny. I have no almonds.
Oh, cashews might be all right.
Pecans.
Pecans, I do that work too.
Oh well. It was almost Asian.
Yeah, close enough counts.
Yeah, I don't know. You've never tried pho? Is that what you're talking about, Lori? The Vietnamese soup, the broth is amazing. And I love the little thin rice noodles. I like it spicy. So I'll put some sriracha and a little hoisin. I love Vietnamese food. It always tastes so dang fresh and good. That's why I like it so much. It's and they have that French influence as well. Yeah, it is really yummy. It can be messy, so I suggest wearing a dark shirt or one you don't mind with a stain. You can get it out with spray and wash, but I'm, chopsticks and a Asian soup spoon. Why is this not open? I'm a little messy. I'm gonna be a messy eater, so. Me and Hot Mess Missy. Hot Mess Missy's always dropping stuff on shirts too. I think I want to chop this a little bit.
Yeah, if you haven't had pho, that's really good. I like I like the beef pho better than the chicken pho, but they're both really good.
Yeah, they have other stuff in it. You get tripe and everything if you like that stuff.
Yeah, I've never been into guts so much for.
And we've tried it. You've tried it.
A couple of the places we had are pretty good, but usually if it tastes good, it's because it's smothered in some really tasty sauce. I mean,
I've had intestines, but not southern intestines. Chitterlings. They call them chitlins. I've not had chitlins, but I've had Uruguayan grilled intestine. Something totally different. I wasn't thrilled with it at all. I'm not I could live without meat. But, I think the most exotic food we've ever had is monkfish liver, which is rare. But we were at a sushi restaurant and the chef happened to have some in. And so he offered it to us. It was so good. Chris didn't like liver, but he kind of liked the monkfish liver stuff, which was a surprise. So I guess I should move this down a little bit. Whoops. Dang it. There it is. It says reconnecting. Oh no, did I leave? Am I still here? Having tripe when I was a kid. Yeah. I don't recall ever having had tripe. Dang it. So, I've been to Mexican restaurants where they have menudo and stuff like that, or they have the real carnitas. Real carnitas are not what they serve us. Real carnitas have intestines and stuff in it. It's basically the whole hog. I'm going to have to do some work on my that's my salad so far. I would normally put sliced almonds in here, but I wanted a little bit more. I like the nutty flavor, so I just put pecans in. I've got like a scant, like barely an eighth of a cup soy. I just like a splash of tartness, so I like rice wine vinegar over a lot of other vinegars anyway. It's a lot, like it says, mild and mellow and natural. It's just not, doesn't have the bite regular vinegar has. And then I'll put a few drops of sesame oil in there. And I just love this because I buy that bag slaw. So almost everything you have is either freezer or pantry. I'll put a bunch of black pepper in there. I like black pepper. Little taste test. Delish. All right. You can tell I've made this a few times. It's great for parties. It goes really fast. Potlucks, parties. Yeah. And then when that chicken comes out, I'll just top it with the chicken. So easy peasy meal. Longest thing is the dang chicken. Yep. So we're gonna finish salad. Some water chestnuts, the rainbow slaw, some nuts. Oh yeah, and then the crunchy things. Crunchies. And this is a new can too. It's fresh. I didn't even know I had this can in there till the other day. Some of the choy. Like I said, I like the thinner ones for this salad. A little bit of carb. I do have cashews. I'm going to put some cashews in there too. I need to use them up. Cashews are always good in Asian food. Mine's going to be Chris's. He likes, I think these are unsalted. Man, they're sea salt. Chris likes salty. I always try and buy it unsalted. Do you watch your sodium, Lori? I do. I kind of try to. I try to be good. Oops. Dang it. Again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sesame oil is so good. Oh, yeah. Pickled tripe. Yeah. Pickled livers, pickled tripe. Oh, gosh. All those old recipes. Yep. I don't know. It's so funny how regional foods are, you know. I've always found that interesting, being from the Midwest as far as beans. There's baked beans and uh, navy beans with cornbread. And here's my tripod right now. 2 of these. I set them like this, and then I can set the phone kind of on that together, and it works as a good temporary tripod. Yeah. And then, but we would eat navy beans and cornbread, ham. Then you move to the South, and even West Virginia, a lot of pinto beans and black-eyed peas, which I'm not fond of, but I like a black-eyed pea in a salad. And I'll do I have recipes out there for a black-eyed pea salad. I really like that. I kind of make my own on that. I think depends on what herbs I have around. I like cilantro in mine. I do more of a Southwest black-eyed pea salad with a lot of vegetables. Yeah, Lori, I don't know. My sodium, everything's under control, so I've kind of loosened up a little bit and I've been doing fine. So I have an adrenal tumor, so it kind of can affect things sometimes. We're still in the middle of testing. It takes forever to test for this stuff. Insurance, probably. You can only test once a year to see if your tumor is active. You have to go through and get 2 positive tests. Yeah, they're drawn to me, Lori. Why is that? Even in the soup, if they're in a sauce, like beans do, they make their own natural sauce in the broth. They just taste dry. It tastes like undercooked, dry. There's something just weird about them. And here, it's a tradition to eat black-eyed peas on New Year's. I think it's also, Italians do lentils. Like the dark lentils. Yeah, pasty. Yeah, pasty. Kind of like a pawpaw. And the pawpaws are, I don't know, they're worth that. Like, how banana has a little bit of a pasty taste, but sweet. That's kind of like a pawpaw. I say chalky, but it's not really chalky. It's an interesting flavor, but I still love the pawpaws. So, are you into getting figs? We need to take your mom some figs. You want to do that tomorrow, Chris? You want to do figs tomorrow and take them to your mom?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. Just to drop off, or you can pick them. I'll drop them off. Whatever. Yeah. Other than that, I like everything. And I'm also not a fan of dark lentils too much. I like red lentils. I like yellow lentils. And every other bean I love. Except for natto. Natto, Natto. It's a fermented soybean. And it's a Japanese thing. And I think there are contests to see how long the natto can stretch. And I've seen people on really high ladders stretching the natto. What's the description of natto? Slimy. It's not really slimy.
This is sort of gooey, sticky.
Sticky. Yeah. But I don't know. It may taste delicious. I do want to taste durian fruit. I've not done that, but a lot of Vietnamese restaurants do a durian fruit dessert. And then we have an Asian market. They sell durian. You can buy them whole fresh, or you can buy them frozen year round. The whole fruit. But you need a machete almost to cut them open. So, but they say the durian smells like a sewer, but it'll be the best fruit you've ever had in your life. I don't know though. I'm thinking If you want something custardy, the pawpaws are good enough. Because the pawpaws, they do have like a custard, a little bit more firm than a custard. So I do enjoy them. Yep. Hey, Simple Happy Life. Look at you. Lori's here. Simple Happy Life is here. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So what are you up to today, Simple Happy Life? You did laundry earlier this week. I hope you're having a good day. And I hope it's cooler in Louisiana than normal. Yep. I just made that big old giant, I'll show you since you just came in. I'll show you my giant pan of lasagna. I put it in a 7-inch pan. It is huge, Lori. Because I'll probably be traveling. I'm trying to make some meals ahead. And I always like freezer meals. And this is such a chore that it'll be enough for a year. Ooh, you had a hot date. I love hot dates. Those are awesome. Yeah, that lasagna, Lori. I mean, Simple Life. Isn't that crazy? But I kind of cleaned out my freezer at the same time. So all the sauces that I made last year from my tomatoes, I didn't have fresh basil. I like thyme, I like basil in my pasta. Oregano makes it a little bitter, so I tend to leave that out. Although I do like Mexican oregano, um, so I left that out. But I ended up using my pesto that I had frozen because it's almost a year. So I used that, put that in there. It had everything but the cheese. It was a pistachio pesto. So the lasagna will have a little bit of pistachio in it. Went to dinner and back home before 6. Oh, that's a hot date. Are you kidding? Did you go to your favorite Cajun restaurant? Their menu looks so dang good. So dang good. Yeah, and then I put spinach in the layers, fresh baby spinach. And I put in hot sausage, sweet sausage, and beef into the sauce. And yeah, a lot of ricotta, mozzarella. It's huge though. I keep saying we'll have like really skinny pieces, but they'll be really tall. Yeah, Lori, it tends to do that. Now, I do find the Mexican oregano is a lot lighter than the Italian oregano. Oh, chilies, yeah. I haven't been to Chili's in a while. My friend and I used to go there every once in a while. My old friend Lisa. She since passed. She passed when we were on the cruise. So she was 73 and had Alzheimer's. So I'm all right with it. I miss her. I miss my old Lisa. Oh, what'd she make you do? Simple Happy Life. Did you go on panel? Did you? Did you? Am I gonna have to go back and rewatch to see you on panel? Oh no. I know over there they like using real names and it always screws me up because when I first went over there, I'm like, who are they talking about? I don't see a Susan. I don't see, you know, I was like, who are these people? And who else was it? Chris and like, who are they talking about? And then after a while, I was like, oh, they know each other's first real names. You messed me up over there, Lori, with that. Thank goodness I have my name in my name. Does that make sense? I have my name and my channel name. Oh gosh. Now, yeah. When are you panel up Simple Happy Life? You got to panel up. Not just a pic. We need you on panel. Yeah. I miss having a sidekick. Martha's busy. Terrible. Everybody's so busy. But Bimbo was a good sidekick because she knew so much about music, you know? No, I don't. That's true. That's true. It has been 4 years, hasn't it? Time goes by. All right. So, are you going to tell me your name? Oh gosh. Well, I didn't know Hunter's real name for a while until he sent me an email. And then he sent me an email on a regular email instead of like a channel email name. And that's the thing. I have 3 emails. So when I did that way back, even before I met you, when I had that channel, it was the beginning of COVID in the winter months, and just people were panicking and stressed. And I love that name. Candace is such a beautiful name. Oh, I love that. I hated my name when I was a kid because I was the only kid named Jennifer. Now I love it because I'm about the only girl named Jennifer my age. I love that name. That's so pretty. You don't hear that often. I think Jennifer is way more common than Candace. I have a friend, we call her Candy. Yeah. She's kind of like a mother. Friend/mother to me. He would call me and we'd talk and it was great until it went, yeah, right? I get it, Simple Happy Life. I get it. The people I've met, well, Q, I didn't know very long, but if you've ever been over to her channel, you know that this woman is just cool. She's easygoing, laid back. Life is short. She doesn't have time for that stuff, weirdness. And then Honor, I've known Honor, about as long as I've known you, maybe even longer. I think longer than I've known you. And he's always been such a sweetheart. And who else have I met? I need to start writing down who all I've met. Clowny, of course. Clowny. Bimbo, of course. I've met some other YouTubers. I'm tired. Wow. That's crazy, Simple Happy Life. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's really rough to go through. That is rough. Yeah. I was lucky, even that I met Chris on AOL, America Online, back in the day. We'd hang out when it was, dial up, 3200 baud. No, what was it initially? It was, how much?
I don't know, 44, 28, something like that.
Oh, it was so slow. But we met back then, and, that people knew each other. Yeah, there were some weirdos. You can take it out and just put it on there.
Okay.
There were some weirdos in the group. But for the most part, if there was a weirdo, women would just put it right down on top of there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. Women would warn other women, you know. So we were always aware of that. And then the guys were always cool and pretty protective. Our friends like Chris Crabb and, well, he moved right about the time we were getting married. And who else? Well, Scott Yates.
It's hard for me to remember the names of everybody.
Vet was very protective of me. Mike Carter was protective of me. You know, they were all really good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they kidnapped me when I had a broken leg, and they're like, "Oh, you want to go to lunch?" And I said, "Yeah." And it was me and a bunch of Bill Henson. They were all like, "Hey, y'all want to come and have lunch with us?" I was like, "Sure." And I couldn't drive, so I was at their mercy. So I get in the car, and then after lunch, I was forced to go to a strip club in the afternoon. And that was an experience, because what totally threw me off on that, I didn't have a problem. You know, the girls were nice, guys were nice. They were respectable. I mean, they were respectful towards the women. But the craziest thing was, I'd broken my foot because my neighbor had a wild Labrador retriever. And that Labrador retriever attacked me. He didn't attack me. He was a goofball. He saw me, he got excited. I was walking, and he did the crazy dog zoomies, and he clipped me, and I fell, broke my leg, broke my foot. So we go into the strip club, and there's this Asian girl there, right? She comes up to the table and everything. She's one of the servers. She comes up to the table and she goes, "What happened to your leg?" Because that's how she talked. I'm not trying to be like disrespectful or anything. She had the accent, which kind of, I think, embellishes the story a little bit. She had the accent. So she goes, "What happened to your leg?" I was like, "Well, my neighbor's dog clipped me. I fell, broke my foot." She goes, "Oh, my neighbor dog, I eat him." I freaking lost it. I about died. And she was a young girl. I totally did not expect that. I mean, everybody just busted up. I don't know if she was serious or not, but I was like, oh my gosh, that's about the funniest. That was one of the funniest situations I had ever been in. Totally didn't expect it. Oh, crazy. Good memories, good memories. Oh my gosh. Too funny. My first meal of the day. Oh. I love it. We're not eating Simple Life. We're not eating lasagna. I made salad. Lasagna will be for tomorrow night. Yeah, it always gets better the next day. So I made Asian salad. It's got slaw. I put some of these Chinese noodles in there. So it's got the rainbow slaw noodles. I thought I had almonds, but I didn't. So I put pecans on it, and then I found cashews. So it's got pecans and cashews in it. Just Tyson chicken fingers cut up. And then soy sauce, little rice wine vinegar, and rice wine vinegar, sesame oil. And do you want any sesame seeds on yours, Chris? You want sesame seeds on yours as well?
Yeah.
Wow, he's spoiled. You know what? It's that bag slaw, so it's super easy and fast. It took Lori, it took longer for, you know, I may not have. Oh yeah, I do have sesame seeds, do I? It took longer for the chicken than it did to make the salad. I was talking about a recipe I might try with some figs, but I think Lori liked the sound of it. Angela Critters liked the sound of it, but I think I'll just make one up. It's like I'm thinking a walnut crust with some, kind of like you would a graham cracker, but nuts and oatmeal. Oatmeal kind of ground up a little bit, not like to a flour, but, not whole oat, like a couple pulses, right? Some butter, a little bit of, I don't do sugar, so a little bit of swerve. And then put some ricotta, either with a little bit of honey or a little bit of swerve in there. And then put the figs, cut the figs fresh on top. So it's not too sweet. I don't like super sweet desserts. So, but I may experiment and see if I can do something like that. Because I just got too many figs. Too many figs. And I like experimenting, seeing how that goes. Do you have silverware?
Yes, I do.
Oh. Did you set the table or did I?
I set the table.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, dinner's ready. So we're going to do the Asian and then we're going to do the lasagna tomorrow. You know how things are better after they've sat, especially lasagna. Because if you try and cut it fresh, it'll just fall apart. So we're going to let this cool down, put it in the fridge, take some out for dinner, and then I'll cut the rest up and freeze it. So it'll be perfect. But yeah, I was looking at buying a lasagna pan. There's my hand. I was looking at buying a lasagna. I guess it's an inch short, so it's a 6-inch tall lasagna. But they don't make lasagna pans that are this tall. They only make lasagna pans that are max like 4 inches. But I was looking at roasting pans. Roasting pans would have more uses. And then, but they said stainless steel, and people were complaining that it wasn't really stainless steel. Which is why, I was nervous about buying these for the garden because I wanted something that was going to last. And then they did change color, but we'll see if they rust once they got a little heated. So I'm about the same with pots and pans. I'm very particular. I don't like nonstick. I only use stainless steel or aluminum, cheap so I can throw it away. But yeah, we're going to sit down, have some din-din here. I hope y'all have a great weekend. And yeah, Wednesday night's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to these one-word song titles. That really narrows things down a lot. I need to get on that and get that written. So, yep. See y'all Wednesday. Thanks for stopping by. See you later. Love y'all. Bye. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with me, Laura. You're always so much fun. And good seeing you, Simple Life. And everybody else in the weeds. Bye.